Kein Makoides, Aziz, Zichol, Eloi, Kein Makoides, Aziz, Zichol,
Too far down.
Studying Heshy's class together. We met in Memphis. The last time we met in
Kein Makoides, Aziz, Zichol, Eloi, Kein Makoides, Aziz, Zichol, Eloi, Kein Makoides, Aziz, Zichol, Eloi,
One last thing before we start.
Yeah. L'chaim, everybody. L'chaim, l'chaim. L'chaim, thank you. L'chaim, l'chaim. You know a guy called Rubashkin, Handelsman? I did.
Chaim, everybody. Today is a very special day. Today is the 18th day of the month of Elul, which is the day that Baal Shem Tov was born. Baal Tanya was born today. And it's also the day that Baal Shem Tov began to, he revealed himself. He learned from Achia Shiloini for 10 years. And Chai El at age 37 that he had to introduce his whole Torah into the world. And it's significant that it's the 18th day of Elul because 18 is Chai. Chai Elul is the life of Elul. Sometimes when Elul is around, you get to, the space of, all our yeshiva guys like to say the word Elul, so you get to chatzita. When you hear Elul, you're already in the space of trembling. And so it should be, but Chai Elul is to bring life into that Elul. Because Elul is a very holy time, it's an auspicious time, it's very special, it's very unique. And it affords us an opportunity to go into a private audience with Hashem in a very special, unique time, which is this time of year. 18th of Elul means there's 12 more days left till the end of the year. And every day you do tshuva for one day in the previous year. Every day you connect to a deeper bond and a deeper connection with Hashem. So it's a very significant time to make a Fabrengen. And it's very exciting. Shkoyach to Moshe Solomon for arranging Fabrengen with Rabbi Rubashkin. This Fabrengen tonight is Le'ilu Nishmas, Rabbi Wallerstein, Rabbi Zachariah ben Shmuel HaKoyen, Zachariah Shimon ben Shmuel HaKoyen. Sorry. Arav Zachariah Shmuel ben Rav Shimon Yitzchak. Okay. Zachariah Shimon ben Rav Yitzchak HaKoyen, Wallerstein. Rabbi Wallerstein was a very powerful, transformer of builds. He was a man who really neighborhood and many people's lives and all over really missed, and it's incredible to see what a power one individual can have in transforming worlds. And so may this be Le'ilu Nishmasai to such an incredible individual. Yeshakayach to Yisrael Meir and Avivit Mikli. Let me introduce Rabbi Rubashkin with the following, that stories are much better when you hear them and when you follow them as they're happening. And I got to say, in the summer we got to Fabrengen together. It was very good Fabrengen. One Shabbos. But, as the story was unfolding and the whole world was involved in that story, I remember reading the emails that were coming out, and it was all about this place called prison. And I have to say that at the beginning I was like, all right, there's some hope. Maybe we're going to get, someone's going to intervene. Something's going to happen. And slowly but surely, every single hope was dashed. And I asked Mordechai that question of, how did you feel when she said, not 25, which is what the prosecution wanted worse, but 27 years. And I encourage everyone to. And what he answered was quite powerful. He said, I was that he explained that Shimi ben Gera was claimed in absolute humiliation. Shimi adds insult to injury, and Shimi knew exactly how to curse right now, at least, because my sense of being and self-worth from Hashem directly. So that's nice, and it says it in Tanya and it's written, but to see it live, that's the key. Is that it's not just speaking and talking, it's walking the walk and talking the talk. And I remember at the beginning I was being forwarded all the emails by Rabbi Akiva Wagner. You should have a refuah shleima.
Akiva Gershon ben Akiva Gershon.
Ben Roth, right? Rabbi Wagner. Rabbi Wagner comes to speak by us every year in Muslim Pastera, so he needs a refuah shleima. He should have a refuah shleima. So Rabbi Wagner would send out every week. He would send out Rav Mordechai ben Rivka. And every week he would send out, and there was an email coming out, and it was this place called prison. And I was reading all those stories which came out in the book. I didn't read the book yet, but I read the emails live. So it was very powerful to watch and to hear. And every single time, it was like, I said, okay, at some point, like, as they say, what are you smoking? It's like, okay, get a load of it. I mean, it's 27 years, and the only way to get out of this place is a pardon from the president, and that's not happening. And then the craziest thing in the world happened. Like, really the craziest thing in the world. One Yid had bitachon. One Yid, sitting in a place called prison, had bitachon. He trusted in Hashem. And he said, and I remember what I'm saying, one day they'll just get me out of prison, and then I'll out, and 10 minutes later, my wife will be here with my, all the belongings, and we'll walk out of prison, and we'll get out. And you're like, even if it happens, it's not going to be like that. And God changed the world and I know over here we don't like, but a real impossible Meshugana as president.
A nice person.
In a nice way, an amazing way. but it didn't make any sense. They would be the president. That cannot be denied. And defying all odds. And in case you don't know the story is that there was a Yid who had bitachon, and the Tzemach Tzedek said the tracht gut wird sein gut. So what's the big deal? If the only way to get his president is a president, the president is always on the wrong side, so we'll put a president on the right side. It doesn't make sense that he's president. Okay, but tracht gut wird sein gut, right? So that's I can't just announce 6 months away and whatever. So he was truly Meshuggah. He announces, made the announcement. It was. I think that what erupted on that Zeis Chanukah was the most incredible thing ever. And an embassy in Yerushalayim, we got an Iran deal, which was then blown up and all that stuff. That was just byproducts.
Golden Heights.
What?
Golden Heights, you got those.
Right? Yeah, the recognition, a lot of stuff, nice stuff happened. That was all a byproduct of. Now you know the story. That if the Yid has bitachon and the able to change his world. And I remember you can't take bitachon to the bank. Yes, you can. It doesn't mean you don't do your part. You got to do everything. You got to pretend like you're doing. You got to move the pieces and pretend like things are going. And I got to tell you, I was in Fabrengen. Just ask me now. I didn't tell him the rest of the story, but in Fabrengen, Rubashkin Fabrengen in the summer. So I told him that there's, that we're opening up a yeshiva and we're being shut down. And what do we do? And he was like, well, just, trust in Hashem and and the result of that, for those who know the story, was before we started the yeshiva, we're now in a $5 million property, which we have 25. I'm not moving that. No, which we have 25 more days to put $1.2 million down. We're having a lot more bitachon coming down. But we're in it, and things happened. And here's the thing: there's electricity, which makes appliances work. There's Wi-Fi in the air, which makes phones work. And there's a force called godliness in the air. It's called elokus, and it's real. It ain't no joke. And what you need to do is tap into it. Here's the thing, though: it doesn't work if you're lying. It knows what's in your heart. And if you're saying tracht gut, but you're not feeling it, and you're not feeling Hashem's presence in your life, then it doesn't work. It only works when you mean it. And meaning it means that you actually believe and you actually feel. Tracht gut translates as not it will be good. That's wird sein gut. Tracht gut means it is good. And so it's an ability to see anything that transpires in this world, the worst possible situations that happen, and to be able to see right through them and to feel and experience the divine hand. I don't think there's any more important thing that we need to do nowadays than that. And when we unleash this unbelievable and incredible force in our lives, we can change presidents, we can change the world. As Moshe sent the line in Tanya, through the Emunah, everything becomes revealed good. And if you don't believe the story, well, there's a story to be told over here. That makes no sense. That defies all odds. That if anyone, doubted the hand of God, here it is, right in front of you. So it's very exciting to have Rabbi Rubashkin over here for Fabrengen. We're here for the night.
My uncle had a mitzvah. I stayed in New York. I walked into the kitchen. This is a current story. And there's a group of guys talking, and they're talking what seemed to me business. I try to move it back into Taylor. And I hear this guy who is louder. Okay, I'm sorry. I hear this very, very wonderful Yid. His name is David, and he is in a weekday life. He is a data analyzer. He analyzes data. Imagine how he works for a big company, and he analyzes data and he's sharing with his friends. I just walked into the look. I don't know how I got there. And he says that he works for a company that works off a lot of business over the internet. And they want to figure out why people cancel orders or what prompts them to cancel an order. This is an interesting story. I just walk. I lived in my over here. I walk into this kitchen and they're talking about. And he says like something like this: that if a person is ordering on the net, he's ordering something, and he has all the items that he needs for his order, he will make his order and it'll be fulfilled. He's happy. What happens if not everything he wants to have is there? He's missing this, he's missing that. So after 4 years of analysis, he claims this is real stuff. The person who is trying to make an order, but he's missing this, and he's missing this, and he's missing this, and missing that, it's 400% chance. I don't know, I get 400. 100 if the 100 is no, I don't know how this works. But this is I'm saying what he says 400%. In my days, 100 was a complete number. Today's 400% chance that he will cancel his order unless there's a sales representative. If there's a sales representative online and is there to help the person work his way through his order, even though the thing's missing, it's missing here, missing there, missing things, then the order will be saved. All right. Now I walked into this conversation. I get very allergic to business conversations during Shabbos. And then I swear I wanted to switch it from the business. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there was going on. What is the lesson of Pitera? The Hashem says everything you hear and see is a lesson in Yiddish. What's the lesson here that you can take from Hashem? So everybody stopped. Yeah, they're thinking. And whatever they said, I think the lesson is this. In life, you go through, everybody. Some people have all the components it takes to make a happy life. They have good brains, and they have good emotions, and they have a good wife, and they have good children. Everything is full complete. And they go through life. Most people, however, don't share that type of thing. There's things missing. He's missing here, he's missing there, he's missing there, he's missing there. What happens when a person is missing something in life? For example, if a person is given and is taken away and put into prison for 27 years. He's missing something, for example, emotionally, yeah. He's taken from his family and they tell him, you're staying in jail here now for 27 years. You think something is missing, no? So does he cancel? Does he cancel? Does he think that, my life is over, it's finished, kaput? The person feels he's in a class and he sees some of his fellow students are making hundreds and 80s and 90s or 70s. He's a flunky. He's making 66, 65, whatever he's making. What's flunky today? 35? I don't know.
That's me today.
Yeah.
I was today 30 years ago.
Okay. Today you flunk at 20%. But you flunk somewhere, you flunky, but you don't flunk ever. But I compare him, you're the flunky over there. So you cancel. What do? You're going through life, and the other guy is cruising with a nice salary, and your challenge is it's difficult. Whatever challenges we have. So when can you make it through life? I think this is the answer. And this is 400% chance better, according to this analyzer. If you're somebody trying to make a life on your own, you're on the net, you're trying to figure out what to do, you have a 400% chance to cancel, get anxious, get fadreits, hacks, finished, and that's it. Unless you have a sales rep. If you have a sales rep next to you to guide you, if you have somebody you can talk to, the Rabbi would say you need a mashpi, you need a rov. If you have somebody you can talk to and to explain to you what is life about, what's life about it, you understand? Then you don't cancel. Because the rov, the mashpia, Torah can teach you, even though you're missing here and you're missing there, you think you're missing here, you're missing there. In fact, you're missing nothing. In fact, this is what your life is about. In fact, Hashem created a world that's imperfect. It was imperfect in the sense everything is here, but the kedusha that we have to bring it through Shabbos, through Amun and Betachon, which is Menucha Nefesh, that's our job. The world, there's a very interesting word of it. It says that Hashem created a perfect world, and yet we have to fix how you put it together, because the world itself is a limited world. We Yidden are able to bring in Menucha into the world. We bring in the Eibishter into the world. That's our job. So we have a life that's imperfect. We have a life that's missing components. But rather than saying, if I'm missing components, this life is no good for me, I want out. You have a marriage, and you're missing something. You want out. Rahman al-Islam. Right? So the Torah says no. The fact that if you go through your life, the fact that you married this, and you have a family, whatever it is, and you are now able to talk to a Rav, to talk to somebody who will give you the Torah understanding of what's going on in your life, then you may find out that this is your life. I just came from there's down the road over here. There's somebody passed away. How his wife was in a wheelchair for I think that's 25, 30 years. And he remained married, beautiful children, and he kept her loyal, whatever it was. So it depends. So this is the word. The word is Emunah B'tachon is synonymous. What does Emunah B'tachon teach you? Emunah means you believe that the Eibishter is doing everything. That's what Emunah means. In English, Emunah means, like Rabbi Vilga quoted Tanya, that every moment Hashem is creating the world from new. David HaMelech hears the Shimi Ben Gera cursing him at the worst possible time. He's being chased away from his son, and it's you say a traumatic moment. You can't describe it. Yeah, what does he see? He sees Eibishter. He sees Eibishter. He sees Eibishter. What do you want from me? That's what he sees, and then he acts on it, and he doesn't get angry, he doesn't get frustrated, he doesn't get lost, and he answers properly, and he turns it around to a victory when he gets back his throne. That's what happens. Why? Because he saw Eibishter. So when we go through life, and this is basically the story. If I won't say my story. My story is like this. I'm a regular yeshiva boy. I made through yeshiva Baruch Hashem, and learned Baruch Hashem, and Baruch Hashem Smicha, and Baruch Hashem learned. But when the Eibishter gave me an Nisayon in good times and later in hard times, the biggest present Hashem gave me was that to try to figure out what's going on. What does Hashem want from me? And then when I found the answer, what Hashem wants from me, act on it, not just say, well, that's nice, that's a madrega. I'm talking really, I'm talking. So this is really. He tells you what reality is. He tells you what does a person do. The Meshach Salman called me up. He says there's a group of people here and made a siyum on the Shabbat Tachon, and it winds up being also a chayil of Fabrengen. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about neshama. I want to talk about how neshama helps you understand yourself and the keich you have. I want to share with you what's called in language panemius. What's the panemius? The panemius is the inner life of things. To get away, not only see the world for its exterior, for what is happening, but what's the motivation, what's really going on, and take energy from there. Now, I'll give you an example. I was sitting with a group of guys. I live now in Jackson, New Jersey. And maybe if you want to hear some war stories from the place called prison, why did I call the place called prison? I didn't come up with this saying, place called prison. It seemed to catch on, interesting, more than I ever imagined it would. But it was a real cry for myself. I was sitting by a computer in this Odorsville place with maybe the first year in the whole prison thing. And I was writing an email to my family. And I was writing where I am. I'm telling you where I am. They don't know where I am. The Americans think that there's a justice system and there's a correctional system. You walk as a big sign, correctional. Some people it takes 1 year to correct. Some people 10 years to correct. Some people it 30 years to correct. Some people it take 85 years to correct. It's a correctional days. Correct people there. Me, it would take 27 years to correct. That's what some genius figured out. To correct me would take 27 years. So it's not penalizing anybody. I was talking to somebody the other day. You gotta hear this. It's a tshuva, yeah. They may think from tshuva means to turn over your avera into mitzvah. That's tshuva. Tshuva ma'ava is there is tshuva me'yira. You do when you repent from fear. That means you erase the avera goes bye, and tshuva ma'ava you make the avera into mitzvah. Can you imagine that? The Kedushas Levi, the Ba'aditchev, once told somebody who was a sinner. He told him, "I'm jealous of you," because he says, "Me, I can do so many mitzvahs, but you did so many avedas. When you do tshuva, you have so many more mitzvahs than me that I can never do." So whatever the government said that I did, this aveda and that aveda, today it's a mitzvah. And Mamish did such tshuva that I turned around all the avedas they said about me, and today it's a mitzvah to bring in foreigners, to bring in all these people. It's a tshuva ma'av I did. All those guys that spoke about me, about all the terrible things, how did I go about it? How did you think it's normal? Think it's normal to hear these things and to know the truth about the matzah and to read the Shemashach? How do you? And here's the answer. The answer is pnimius. The answer is to see the force of life for what it really is. Okay? And the Shema, we go through. The first story I had, the first moment in the challenge that I had, that's why I call a place called prison, because I always, in this story, I'll tell you in a second, I want everybody to listen carefully because I think we all go through challenges. Nobody's life, we're making an order on life. Nobody has all the things that they want in life there to order. This one's missing this, this one's missing that. How do you deal with it? So we go through a test. When we realize that the test is coming from Hashem, and Hashem wants us to act in a certain way, and we act in that way, we pass the test, and the test goes away. That's what happens. But the test looks miserable, looks terrible, looks like a problem. The first night, they threw me into a place called prison. It was after I went to, they made in South Dakota what they called a trial, and they went through all the motions for 4 weeks. And at the end, they threw me into jail. They denied me bail, which every person in my situation, or whatever they claimed I did, would give me bail to go home. They immediately had to remand me right away. I'm a very dangerous guy, and they threw me into jail. So I wind up in this place called prison with the whole the chains and the handcuffs and the feet cuffs. I mean, of course, everybody has to be treated equally. Understand? The guy that killed 55 people, and the guy that did nothing has to be equal with all the same thing. And they bring me into jail, and they schlep me in. But it's all part of putting them in a frame of mind. And it winds up being, without getting into the details of the story, but I want to bring out the point. I wanted to be left alone. That's the part I want to tell you. I was hoping to win the trial. I was hoping to go home. I had bitachon. I learned Shabbat bitachon very well many times. I strengthened myself throughout the whole trial with bitachon. And mitzvah, I hear guilty, and they're throwing me into jail. I wanted to be left alone. I wanted to be able to put the pieces together. But the Eibishter understood that I can't be left alone. He has to bring out from me a koyach that the Eibishter knows that I had. I never knew I had it. Because if you asked me before the story if I can do it, I'll tell you absolutely not. It's not as if I ever saw myself being able to overcome this. But the Eibishter knows me, creates me. So he brings me, they shut me into a room and they tell me to change my clothes. And I have to put on this prison clothes. These I call them purim clothes. They make a love with the guy. I'm big, and if do Hashem b'simchas, the Eibishter loves a happy Yid. He hates these fachmurit, these guys that walk our whole day very nervous. And what kind of guy are you anyways? Be happy you're Jewish. I have that Hashem. What are you doing? Anyways, I put on purim clothes. But I realized he tells me I got to change it, put all my clothes into the box, and I about to have a Yom Kitzitz on. Me, it didn't imagine in my mind I had a problem here, but it works out to be a big problem. So just as a matter of courtesy, I tell the God, you know that I'm Jewish and I keep my Yom Kitzitz for sure. I can keep that, and he says no. They got to put it in a box. So I try to explain to him, listen, Mister, I'm Jewish and the Jewish people wear it, and I told him very emphatically that I can't walk 4 steps without Yom Kitzitz because you're not allowed to go to law. I gave him a ganze. I was on Mitzvah that moment. I was teaching him something about Mitzvah. And he turns me, this is the amazing part. He looks me in the face, he's a burly guy. And this is like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And he looks me in the face and he tells me, listen, buddy. We became very friendly very fast. Listen, buddy. I'm like, I'm buddy. A lot of things will change for you tonight. And this was the beginning of 8.5 years of torture. But the Eibishter gave me a big message here. And I remember just standing there, and I realized the truth of my situation sunk in. I'm not just in danger physically. This guy is telling me, I'm going to change you. You used to give me a speech about Yarmulke. Tzitzis, you're quoting Jewish law, what you can do, you can't do. Here, you do what I say. I'm going to change you. And that woke up my neshama. So he thought The tzara is when you fall asleep. Here, this guy, the tzara comes and he said to me, buddy, you know what I heard? I heard tzara. I remember seriously, if you look in those guys who look in Sharach Yichla look in any Muslims from Chizis, you'll see that you have tzara, and the tzara comes to you as a buddy. And Mr. Buddy tells me, listen, buddy, we're going to change you. And suddenly, at that point in time, I hate speakers when they say I can't describe it to you. You say, why are you trying to describe it? This is what we're talking about. But I'm going to try to describe it to you. I felt a rush of energy that I never felt in my life. That's what I felt. Because he tells me he's going to change me, and suddenly I was down. I was hoping to win. I didn't want to be in chains. I didn't want to go into jail. I want to go home. I envisioned myself walking out of the courtroom, and here I am. And let me just think how to get to the next step. And Mitamol, he woke me up. He gave me the life I needed to live. He woke me up. He tells me, how did he wake me up? Because he woke up that part of me, that Yechidah Shabbat. That's what I want to talk about. Chai Elul. Life comes from the source of life. We have 5, and I'm going to take a few minutes, and I'm going to show you how understanding your nefesh, understanding yourself, you can invigorate yourself to see how you can get yourself out of a problem. Because a prisoner cannot free himself. That's a fact. Ein chovesh mataras atzmei is a concept in the Gemara. Ein chovesh mataras atzmei. Somebody who's a prisoner cannot free himself. You have to get somebody who's not imprisoned to free you. Yeah, something outside has to come and throw down the rope. Something outside has to go and talk on your behalf. We have that within ourselves. We have a Yechidah b'nefesh. We have a part of ourselves that was never touched by any chet. Was never touched. I'm going to take a little detour a second. We talk about people going through different challenges in life, and they will talk to you about I was this and I was that, and my parents were the worst things that ever happened to me, and this guy abused me. Whatever, all the problems you have, yeah. That will touch you all to Yechidah. Yechidah is never touched. Why am I saying this? If you understood that you have a part of yourself that's never touched by your chet, by whatever you did, that's the part that's going to free you. You have to bring that out, that Yechidah, that Chai Elul, that part of life that's never touched, connected to Hashem always, and you have that access to yourself. Never say to yourself that you're lost. I'm a little guy, and I can't get out of this. It's not true. It's not true. Amun b'tachon means that your Rebbe is with you. You're never alone, because there's a part. You say the kind of neshama shonasat b'tayri. There's a part of your neshama that has never got entangled with ever what you're complaining about. If you want to get out of that part that is affecting you, the way you do it is awakening Yechidah, awakening Etz Hashem. How do you do that? With Torah mitzvah. So that's one I want to share with you. So this guy tells me he's going to change me, and I suddenly realized I'm not changing. And one thing is for sure, when they want me in prison, I'm a child of Hashem, having the Sholom. I'm an Eved Hashem. Right? This is now Rosh Hashanah. So I taught myself this not. So I grouped myself together, and where I got the strength to tell him until today. I remember making that gulp together, and I told him, "I'm sorry, I cannot take off my American sisters. It ain't happening." And now it was his turn to get confused, because Msabi never was taught in his whatever they do with the training, that what happens when a Jew doesn't want to take off his you know what to do. He got ganze flustered, and he said, "Follow me." So I had to follow him. I bit my American sisters. I walked in, and he locks me into a cage. Like an animal, like in Bank Zoo. I mean, if you want to envision what the correctional facility is, Bank Zoo, exhibit number 1. It locks me in a cage. There was nowhere to sit down, even no chair. You think about a place. The only place to sit down was a cement block. A cement thing. It was cold. It was a November night in South Dakota. It was cold, freezing. Anyways, I couldn't sit down. It was freezing. So I was gesetzen. And they let you wait over there, let you simmer into your own problem. They want to weigh you down. And the guy walks in, and here comes the second soil. What I want to share with you over here is not just a story. I want to share with you the thought behind it. So first thing that Hashem wanted me to know, Sholom Mordechai, and don't change. And where did I get that from? I didn't get it from the books. I didn't get it from just as, of course I got it from the books, but I was able to recognize it. I got it because I did it. I was faced with the challenge to change, and I decided, I'm not changing, and I'm not taking my own tzitzis. What is that? Okay, so I wound up in a problem. Next problem behind they would have let me go back to the place with other guys with the vending machines and make a call, but me was more important not to change. That starts the whole thing. I'm not going to get into longer, shorter. I want to share with you more stories. This is more than the hour that was allotted to talk. So I keep it going. Yeah, don't say that because I keep them all night. So okay, keep going. So how am I say? So then came the second part. Second part is the guy walks in. The guard is a sergeant. Was a big sergeant. He has extra 2 stripes on the shirt. The guy walks in. The mother, I can live better than him, I promise you. And a few missions I know better than him also. He walks in, the guy's a knacker, and he wants to know what's going on. So I told him, your worker is trying to get my business. I can't take him out. I told him it's code of Jewish law. I never even asked for my religious rights. There wasn't religious rights around there. I wasn't an American citizen. I was a Yid wanting to do a mitzvah. What's a mitzvah? A mitzvah is tzaf. A mitzvah is a connection. I want to be connected with Hashem. Simple. That's it. And he was trying to break that connection. He was trying to take away from me my yarmulke and tzitzis, my connection. That's not going to happen. So he says to me, "What's going on?" So he says, "Okay, he had a little more brains." He says to me, "Okay, I'm going to check out the rabbi." This is in South Dakota. And it's 10 o'clock at night, a nice Thursday evening, and they come. Which rabbi? I thought to myself, any rabbi, reform, deform, conservative, whatever you got. And says I'm a safe territory. This can't change over here. I'm gonna get my yarmulke says this happen in a few more minutes. It's over and I'm back. But the Eibishter didn't want that. I'm trying to show you. You go through an Nisayon, and you know where it's coming from. You want to know why? I can't tell you when I was talking when this is happening. I was thinking that way. I was just holding on to Hashem with all my might. But looking back, this is exactly what happened. So he leaves. He comes back 20 minutes later. He comes with a piece of paper, and he tells me this rabbi, I don't know who this rabbi was. I don't know who he was. A very, very miserable human being. The guy's in prison. They let him live. He tells me, he starts off, I think he's a chaplain. It's a rabbi, chaplain. The chaplains walk in, I feel so bad for you. He starts off, you should know you're in prison. I didn't know. But thank you for telling me. How would I ever know I'm in prison if I didn't tell me? No, I'm sorry to hear where you are. And this in this chaysh, I'm reliving my moment. Over. Give me a little chayim. I realized something was coming down the road not so good, and he tells me, I have no idea. To me, they were not even there. This was in Chassidus is a saying, "Ayin v'efes mamash." It's a voracious bara. The Eibishter created the world for Tzedek and Eden. A person who is standing and trying to stop a Jew from doing their mitzvahs doesn't deserve to exist. The only reason he exists is to make to bring out something for the Jew. The guy doesn't even belong to them. He tells me, you should know you're in prison, and in the prison, your bosses, the guards, it's getting worse as he goes along, and the guards tell you to take Rambam consensus. He spells it out. You should know the guards are your boss, and they tell you to pay Rambam consensus, so you have to take off Rambam consensus and give it to them. And then he finishes off with the cream on the cake. He finishes off. This is something you can't make up. This was amazing. He finishes off. He said, of course, it says in the Torah, dinner, the machusa, dinner. There's more on Kolon also. Obviously, he's taking words of Torah and story, of course. But to me, I'm talking to the guy I'm on one side of the bars. He's on the other side of the bars. I'm trying to fight to keep up my freedom. And I remember trying to keep myself alive and think to myself, who's really in prison, me or him? Because from my perspective, he's in prison. Who's behind the bars, me or him? It's a side note. Anyway, he's trying to take my American consensus. And he tells me, dinner. So from a goyish mouth coming out these words, I was shocked. I just didn't imagine that would happen. And but I'm a person that wants to understand things. As much as I have a munah, the Eibishter wants you to understand as much as you can understand. Amunah doesn't mean just blind faith. It's a wrong way of explaining it. Faith sees, What a yid can see with his neshama, with the munah, is bigger than he can see with the seichel. But seichel has to understand it too. So suddenly he challenges me. He says to me, "Hey, you doing Gemara?" He says, "This guy represents the law, right?" So he's telling the young this. You have to listen to him. So just to gain time, I say to him, "What's that? You know what that means? Those words, means?" He says, "No." I said, "I'm just reading the words." It's transliteration. So I said, "I'll tell you what it means. I'm a rabbi. I'll tell you." And I got off to a speech. I think it lasted 8 minutes. That's in my mind. I gave a speech because it wasn't about talking to him. It was talking to myself. I needed to work this thing through in my own brain to get the chayach. And this is, because you guys are learning, obviously in Chassidic Chabad, they're called Chabad for a reason. They're called Chabad because not the most greatest Mesiras Nefesh Yidden were Chabadske. My parents told me, my parents come from Russia. And the one who stood up against Stalin with all his Meshugas and all his sadism was Dafke Chassidic Chabad who knew to take the Eibishter was with Mesiras Nefesh, which means beyond Seichel. So how does Seichel fit in here? You know why? Because Seichel takes you to one space, and then after that gives up, the Emunah takes you further. That's how it works. So if you look at Chavos Alavavos, because it's all one Torah. If you take a minute before you learn the Shar B'Tachon, if you look to how does he structure his Sefer, he says, when I'm talking to you about a mitzvah of Chavos Alavavos, and I'm talking about a mitzvah of your heart, you have to know you can't command somebody to love. You can't command somebody to fear. You can't command those things to fear. You can't command those things of the heart. You have to explain al pi seichel. And then, together with that, you also have to have the emunah. So I was working my way through it. I said, so why, when this guy tells me I got to pick up my yarmulke and tzitzis, I don't have to listen to him? And the one story came to mind. Again, this is stuff we can talk at large, but in the Kudah. I told him this. There was a great rabbi, the Rebbe Rayat, said the Lubavitcher Rebbe in 1927 in Russia, they tried to kill him. I gave him the whole history, half the physical things. But when it comes to neshama things, the neshama never went to Golos. So when the government decides, the Machzarisha decides that you can't learn Torah anymore, you don't listen to them. Dina Chosdin only works to physical things. I remember learning this, and I had this amazing question. What are you telling me my neshama never went to Golos? My neshama is my body. If my body, my physical existence isn't Golos, so that why isn't my neshama not in Golos? Isn't that synonymous? Isn't my neshama in the body, which isn't Golos? You just admitted to me that the body's in Golos. So then the neshama is in the body. So the answer is no. If you live with your neshama, then your neshama picks your body also out of Golos, and you don't feel the pain of Golos. If you live with your goof, if you live with your physical existence, if you're trying to find freedom and the pleasure from physical things, you're in Golos. And you schlep down the neshama into Golos. I learned this from where I was standing there in which year was it? I don't know. Whenever I was there, not 2009, 2010, this is something I learned maybe 40 years ago. And this story, whole interaction with this guy about dinner brought the story to the front of my mind. And so I learned the second lesson there. So I told the guy, go back to the rabbi and tell them when it comes to the neshama things, I don't have to listen. Here was born the stuff that I was a place called prison. I'm not in prison. I realized if I live with an Eibishter, if I live with a neshama, I live with Torah mitzvahs, then I'm not in prison anymore. And this is the inyan of Chayil. So the bottom line, the whole story winds itself up. He goes back. He says, I'll check again with the rabbi. The rabbi says, then the rabbi gives me an answer. I can keep one of them, eat them out. Because this guy was a real clown. And the bottom line is, I wouldn't take it off. So they came in. They took it off forcibly. They threw me into a wheelchair. They threw me into solitary confinement. And I had a choice. The way to get out of solitary confinement obviously was to abide with their thing, to agree to walk without me consensus, or I stayed there. And it was a struggle. It was the most difficult moment of the whole 8.5 years. Maybe because it was the first one, but I don't think so. I think because it looked like Hashem was abandoning. It looked like Hashem wasn't with me. I was hoping to win the case. I didn't win the case. I was hoping. I want to get my own consensus. Hashem, where are you? Come on. Take it away. They took it away from me. They made me feel like a piece of garbage because they threw into In the South confinement, they don't just change your clothes. They make you wear clothes of a maniac, of a mental institution. It's called turtle clothes, because you can hang yourself. So for your protection, they take all your clothes, they put you on a shell, a garbage can. So if you didn't want to commit suicide before, maybe now you're thinking about it. Something like that, yeah. I mean, the good part of it is everything was the simcha. It was a hard night. It was a hard night, and the bottom line is, I want to say to you, I came out from these 3 tests that Hashem does not chas v'sholom abandon us. Emunah means we're never alone. You drive it into your head. A yid has to know emunah. It's not a madrega to reach a high level of explaining the wonders of Hashem and all these things. Yes, it is. Maybe also, but practically speaking, emunah means Hashem is with me. Emunah means Hashem creates me every moment for a purpose. Emunah means Hashem loves me. Emunah means that I'm not nobody. That's what emunah means. And if you think what Hashem is giving you is something which is hard for you to take, and it's interfering with your Avez Hashem wants you to trust Him to change it. What do you say to that? How much better can you get? Hashem has a mission set out for you, and you're supposed to do it. Do you ever realize that Shar B'tachon comes after Shar Avez Sadikim? Because if you really want to understand B'tachon, you have to really start off with understanding yourself, im kibonim, im kavodim. Understand yourself that you're created to fulfill a mission. Then you understand, if Hashem creates me to fulfill a mission, He will certainly give me what I need to fulfill the mission. Hashem is not going to tell me do something without giving me the kayach. Now, the Tzahara will try to tell me what to do. Hashem abandoned you. The truth is not fakir. Hashem wants you to recognize the truth, that Hashem is with you. Recognize the truth, and then suddenly all the energy comes for you need. And this is what I experienced. I'm not talking to you in terms of trying to be right on the intellectual level, which I can do also if you want me to. But these are the thoughts that came through and that calmed me down. It took a few hours. It wasn't easy. On a personal note, I repeat this story many times because I think it really brings out what I'm trying to say. Is that I went on a plane. A small plane. I traveled. My father had this big plane in the middle of nowhere, and I lived in Minnesota, and I had to fly back and forth. I wound up in a small little plane, and I'm sitting next to a pilot, and I'm noticing in front of the pilot there's a gauge thing over there. And there's a gauge. One of the gauges there is like a little bobbing plane, and pointing up and down. So I asked the guy, "What is this?" And he tells me it's a very important thing. It can save your life. I figured, boy, this is really big stuff. Give me some real philosophy about. I remember learning in school about longitude and latitude. That's how I say. He tells me this is something that tells me if I'm flying up or if I'm flying down. I burst out laughing. So he said, "Why are you laughing?" He got very insulted at me. I said, "You're sitting in front of a window. You're not sitting in a what is these games over there? Put you in the thing in front of a window." The sky is there, and the ground is there. Why do you have to look at this gauge to know what's up and down? Look at the window, you see what's up and down. I was shocked. I remember when I first came out of prison, I never saw an iPhone. I never watched television. I want to tell you something. They had a big room there with 8 to 12 screens over there. And people sitting and watching even more. And I wanted to keep a clarity of mind. So besides learning it is, I had to make sure not to destroy what I have. You sit in front of this meshugas, this little thing, and watch all the shtusim coming into your head. That's what happens. I don't care if it's talk shows, I don't care if it's news, whatever it is. They're giving you their opinion on how life works. Anyway, I didn't. Bottom line, I didn't. Because I was really committed to understand things the way it is. And that was the menuchas nefesh I had. And I never saw this little thing. I never saw advertisements either. I came out, and mitamol, a guy comes up and says, Sholom Aleichem! I said, Jew. Look here. In prison, if you said, look here first, there's a warning shot because the guy can punch you. Look, I said, look here, and I see guys holding this thing over here, smile. I click, for a selfie. It took me 2 days to get around this thing over here. Look here, like over there in prison, because I'm a very dangerous guy, I told you. They put me between in high security. We had murderers over there. Before you can't just get up out of the table, because if you stand up, you could be attacking somebody. So before you stand up, you have to knock on the table and tell everybody, I'm standing up. You know, that's the type of crazy place it was. And mitamol. Anyways, I finally got So I once was my brother's house before Shavuos, and I walked outside. It was raining, so I ran back into the house and told the guy, I told my family member, if you want to go outside, put on a coat. It's raining outside. He says, raining? It wasn't supposed to rain. He pulls out his computer. He starts checking if it's raining or not. I said, what are you checking here? Go to the window and look outside. It's raining. It's funny moments in life. Yeah. How many times did you do that? We're checking here. Anyways, so he tells me this. This is the story. He tells me, listen, now you're flying in good weather. You can see up and down. What happens if you fly in dark weather? You fly into a dark cloud. And there you can't see what's up and down. Suddenly your window is just seeing a dark cloud. You can't see the sky, you can't see the ground. And here comes the kicker. Not only you can't see what's up and what's down, your senses start lying to you. This is a fact. Ask any pilot. And a lot of here people are old enough to remember Kennedy when he ditched into the water. What happened over there? He was relying on the senses. He's flying in bad weather. He couldn't see up and down, and he felt the up is this way. So he gave gas, and he thought he was flying up out of the cloud. He was flying down into the water. By the time he figured out what's going on, you can't pull out anymore. So he says, "What do you got to do?" He tells him, "This pilot. I'm not a pilot. I'm not doing anything." He says, "No, but he taught me a lesson. Taught me a lesson of my life." He says, "When you're flying in a situation you can see, you look at the gauge. And ignore all your senses will be screaming to you, you're going the wrong way. Follow the gauge, and you'll come out alive." That's why I told Rabbi Vigler, I don't care all he starts asking me this question, that question. Follow the gauge, you'll come out alive. So this is what I did. I remember coming home with this lesson. We have a gauge called Teda. David did us the biggest favor. Took it out of Mitzrayim, and he brought us to Har Sinai and says, Kinderlach, let me share with you my Teda. Besides all the neshama power I give you, I'll tell you what life is all about. If you want to know what life is all about, if you want to be able to understand yourself, if you're able to understand the world around you, find it in Teda. If you're going to look anywhere else, your senses, your this, your that, your logic, then it's good weather, maybe it'll follow you. But if you go in bad weather, your senses will lie to you. So here, I was in a dark cellar in this little hole called what they call it? Called SHU. It's a special housing unit. It's very special. They torture people there, and they put me in there. And I'm not going to get until I decide to walk the Yom Kippur. And I am following what it says in Torah. In the Torah, it says that I have to have betachon now. What are you talking about betachon now? I can't have betachon now. The guys threw you into a yarmulke. They're going to do that. My teacher, I have a sales rep. Yeah, my sales rep is telling me, Sholom Mordechai, now is the time for betachon. Your sales rep is the Eibishter, the Torah. You have a Rebbe. You're telling Tanya. Your Tanya is your sales rep. You want to understand life? Look over there and see what life is all about. You want to understand your nefesh? I'm giving classes now. For this year, this happened in a very interesting way. I'm giving classes to women, a few hundred women a week, multiple classes in Jackson. I was once on this show, and if we spoke about the show, whatever we spoke about, and then I got a call from this a lady, Mrs. Sarah, and she tells me, she is a person who grew up in California. She went to yeshiva there, B'Shakiv, and she's going through a lot of stress in life, and she feels very disconnected from what she learned in yeshiva. She can't, but she's not in Frumkeit. She can't put together all the things she learned in yeshiva, how to apply it to regular day in life. That's what she couldn't put together, right? So she do something about it. So I said, so go to Rav. So which Rav is going to talk to me? A therapist, if you have money, you're stuck. Anyway, I like a challenge. I said, okay, we'll make a class for women in the Shabbat. She says, no, you can't teach me from a book. You got to teach us what the problem is: self-esteem, anxiety, confidence, depression. How do you deal with all those stuff in life? And then tell me how to take does this. I said, sure, no problem. And obviously I had a challenge. Maybe she gave me bracha. And over the year, we gave a 32, 33 class, whatever it was. I called it Heal the Heart with a Munah B'tachon, because any problem that you has in life, physically, is an answer to be found in Torah. Because Torah is the guide. Torah will teach you, and the foundation is your yid, you have in the neshama. So this Inyan, why am I bringing this up? I didn't know this before, but it's because you talk to yeshiva guys, which I typically learn with Shabbat Tochen, you know, chapsach. The basic understanding of who we are, that we have a Yetzer Tov, that we have a Yetzer Hara, that we're not a single unit being affected by outside forces. We have two nefashas working inside. We have a nefesh, a godly divine soul. We have a neshama, and then we have a Yetzer Hara. And the Yetzer Hara is very spelled out. If you want to find it in Cheves Lavav, you'll find it too. Shaykh Lamaisa. And it's very spelled out how it works. And when you have a challenge in life and you think you're working towards something and suddenly it's not going right, the Yetzer Hara wants to figure, I see you're no good. Because the proof is you're working so hard to learn, you're going up in the morning, you're davening, you're learning, and you're still challenged with these thoughts are coming to your brain. Yeah, of course you are, because you have Yetzer Hara. Good morning. Nothing wrong with you. If you are struggling with a certain anxiety or fear, whatever you have fear, you want to blame it on something that happened to you before, right? How come a Jew that gets a 27-year sentence and thrown into comes from how you understand what's going on? If you feel that you're here and this is affecting you is one thing, but how do you understand that whatever's happened to you is a fight between Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara? You look at the whole different way. I mean, maybe I'm trying to get into a conversation. Maybe it takes more time. If anybody has a question, we'll do it in a second. I just want to bring at this point. Chai Elul. So what's the point of the whole thing? I Baruch Hashem did not take my consensus. I made a commitment that I'm not walking out without my consensus. That morning, a few hours later, the only one who heard me was Eibishter. And suddenly everything changed. Suddenly, I got a free consultation with a therapist. The guy came to the door. I got a psychiatric evaluation right then and there. And the guy comes to the clipboard and he asked me a bunch of questions, and I answered it. And I could have got 100, but he stopped in the middle of the test. And he tells me, "Hey, what are you doing here? You don't belong here." He realized they must have me thought I'm crazy. I thought he said that I don't want to walk with you. I said, I'm not crazy. I'm Jewish. and a Jew can't walk without Yom scissors. So I'm not crazy. Give me my Yom scissors, I can walk. I'm not fighting with you. He left. He finished in the middle of the test. He left. And then 20 minutes later, they came back. They gave me back Yom scissors. I started walking. How did that happen? I want to tell you something. You know, when we go through tests in life, and then you see that Yeshua comes. You can take it two ways. I don't care who you are. Oh, you see, I said the right thing. You see, I said, or you can say, Hashem is with me. And that's what it says in Shabbat Tochen. He says, if you want to strengthen your B'tochen, look at all the good Hashem is doing for you currently. I woke up in the morning and 1 year goes by, 2 years goes by, 3 years goes by, 4 years goes by. When do you get a little chizuk in the morning B'tochen? The answer is, look at all the good Hashem is doing for me. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. They took away everything I worked for years. My father also, they mamish these shoyim illegally. They destroyed everything we had, but Hashem gave us money a different way. And my kids were growing up, and Baruch Hashem, they're staying in Torah mitzvahs. All the good that was happening to me, Eden davening for me. Why I'm so popular? David is waking up by Eden, the Rachamim to daven for me. So I saw all this. I said, okay, I got one problem called prison. It's a big problem. But I look at all the good Hashem is doing to me. So it's not just. So I'm not abandoned. I'm not alone. Wake up. The Yetzer Hara wants to argue to you. You are abandoned. Look, you're in prison for 27 years. You shouldn't be there. No. That's something which I have to be talking about. The same Eibishter who's giving me all the good is the same Eibishter who's going to get me out here too. So we're going to wind this down like this. We started before, but Chai Elul, life. Life has its essence, and life has its expression. We feel alive. It's called the neshama as it is connected to Hashem, always pure. The one we always say, I'm Jewish no matter what, that's Yechida, the Pintel Yid, that's life. Then it comes down to what we want, what we enjoy, how we understand. We have want and understand on the holy side, and we have and emotions on the physical side. This starts the battle. And sometimes we do the right thing, most times we do the right thing, sometimes we do the wrong thing. And we tangle, we touch things that are impure. But there's one part of us that's never, ever, touch with impurity. If you understand yourself that way, if you understand there's a part of you that's always connected to Hashem, all you need to do is evoke, bring out that part that's connected to Hashem, that's not touched by prison, that's not in prison, that's not touched by any bad thing that guy may have done for the Yitzhak, convinced to get involved with something enjoyable, it's not kosher. It's still, it's so that he's not touched with that either, because the part that's above it. When a person can evoke the part of the neshama, that's the pnimi, is the inner part of the neshama, so suddenly every part of himself becomes alive in a whole different way. And I'll give you a good example. A chiropractor. Anybody a chiropractor here? No, a chiropractor knows, assuming chiropractor knows what they're doing. Let's assume for a second to do. So the philosophy is like this: the brain has the ability to heal the body, but there's things that are blocking it. You have to just adjust the guy so the energy can flow. This is what learning Pnimi HaTorah is. How do you reveal part of your neshama? You do a mitzvah. You do reveal things. How do you reveal the inner part of your neshama? You do a mitzvah with Mesiras Nefesh. Do a mitzvah that you see is coming from a place that you want to be only with Hashem. When you don't want to walk Yamak and Tzitzis, you can find 10 Tatum and then Shulchan Aruch why you could walk Yamak and Tzitzis in a place called prison. They're going to beat you up, whatever. But you don't want to walk Yamak and Tzitzis because you want to be one with Hashem. So where does that come from? Where is that coming from? That's coming from your inner desire to connect to Hashem. When you bring that out, doing the mitzvah with Mesiras Nefesh, that's chayis and Elul. That's chayis. When you learn the parts of Torah that talk about the neshama, you're bringing out your neshama. That's the point. So the idea is like this. The idea is you have to be healthy in all 5 parts. But when when we are challenged in life with challenges, it's not Hashem trying to break us. It's Hashem trying to tell us. So you know what? Don't just serve me by logic. It's Hashem saying, don't just serve me because you realize that being Jewish is a nice thing, a nice Shabbos table. Serve Hashem because of the infinite connection you have, the limitless connection you have, the connection you have that's unbreakable under any circumstances. And that's really the key to Yeshua. When you're asking Hashem for Yeshua, what are you asking Him for? You're asking Hashem to change. You're talking about to put in a President Trump, to change the way the world works to give you Yeshua. So when Hashem, we learn this in the Gemara. Hashem works midah like a midah. When we serve Hashem in a limited way, we do this and we don't do that. This talks to us and this doesn't talk to us. This is my madrega. So Hashem answers back the same way. There's a world, there's an order Hashem set in, and that's how it works. Serve Hashem with our whole heart, no matter what. It doesn't make it. We go beyond our limitations. So Hashem answers us back also with our limitations, and Hashem changes the order that He made in the world, and to help you also. That's what Yeshua is. Yeshua means, how do you evoke a nest? How do you bring a nest from Hashem? Make a nest within yourself. Bring a nest. Change, go out of limitation within yourself. And that's it. Aleph Beis Gimel. Aleph Beis Gimel means emunah betachon. Emunah is higher than understanding. Betachon is higher than understanding. When you live with an emunah betachon, then you get your gula. So l'chaim, everybody. I think I spoke enough to warrant a few questions. Enigma, whatever. Okay, Rabbi is going to run the show. But Chai Elul is a Chaim. Everybody should be blessed with Ksiv, Mechzim, Teva, Sholom, the good Hashem knows good, the good that we know is good. And we should all have Bana, Chaya, Umezene Revicha, and become Revicha L'Chaim.
You have a grandson.
I want to.
Now we Fabrengen. Sit down, sit around. Live, yes. Don't worry. It's good. Sit down, run Fabrengen.
Thank you very much. Beautiful words. Rock if I can.
It's been real good. Real good.
See you again. See you again. Maximum Taiba.
Okay, we have a question.
A quiet question.
A quiet question.
Okay, so you friend of mine. Yeah, a friend of mine. So you go through the hours.
Thank you. Okay. I can keep this? Okay. I'll put it in my pocket. I won't lose it.
It's got 400 in there.
Okay, thank you very much.
I want an autograph.
Okay, we go.
Fiscal mitzvahs.
I lived the same 3 years in Minnesota as Rabbi Rubashkin.
You did,
Me
yeah?
and my son, yeah, we went to them for every Shabbos and Yom Tov.
Oh. I don't remember. I'm
My
sorry.
first Yom Kippur in Minnesota, we ate steaks for
There must have been a connection for me. Assumption.
All right. You want to question?
I don't want to interrupt the flow of the creative juices right there. Yeah.
Later, it's all good.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Yeah.
Amen.
Thank you very much. I have all the books.
Yeah. You mentioned the Aleph phase of the Gillah.
Yeah.
So, my understanding, I could be wrong, the Aleph phase means if you're remaining 100% steadfast in your avodah, you're a Jew is a Jew, it's a Yamak, it's Tzitzis, however you want to define it, that's Aleph and Beis.
Aleph.
Well,
Beis is already asking Hashem to change the situation you're in
okay.
and give you really good. That's the base.
Okay, so the question, so that's
So
the
that's
beginning.
a motive.
That should
And that brings the Geula.
And when it doesn't?
So then you go back to Aleph.
And when it doesn't?
You go back to the Aleph.
Let's say that
Are you still alive?
No, let's say you're not.
Then you realize that whatever you were asking for was something which was unachievable.
Right.
And the good is what Hashem does. The
Right.
moon is
so whatever ended up happening was done.
Yeah.
Okay, so tying that into, because we have a lot of discussions of trust with the time, good, and I'm challenged with that, right? So the way I'm understanding is there's a koyach in the divot, trust good, and you have a koyach that you can be put. No.
And then I bring something else into the conversation. I'm not trying to be right or wrong.
No, I won't understand. I'm not challenging you.
Oh, no, so the way I learned it and I understand it and I was taught and I heard it from the Rabbi plenty of times. I was by Fabrengen, Tafshin, I think it was Daled Mem, and who would know that a 5-minute part of a conversation would be a foundation of my life. But obviously, I have to take and learn Shabbat to understand it and bring it up. Here's the foundation. There are two fundamental aspects of our religion, our das. The person has to have betachon in Hashem. When a person is in a tzara, Hashem demands of him, obligates him to trust in Hashem to take him out of the problem. I'll show you a few stories you want to, yeah? That's it. How much, no matter how much it looks at the problem is unconquerable, and no matter how much he thinks he sees from above that the sign is going the way that is going the wrong way, and it is obligated to trust Hashem will give him a good that he can see is good. So in simple English, if a person needs to start a school and needs a building to start a school,
Nobody
right?
we know.
I give an example, yeah. So and so he has to. Hashem obligates him to trust him to give him the ability to buy the school. A person, I'm myself right now in the business. I'm trying to. But there's a house. I have an Alvis in center, and the next door is now offered to me, so I have to get it. So I also have to have a tachon. Hashem will allow me to raise what I need to do it.
But you're not saying that's the key you're getting.
That is the key.
What happens if you don't get it?
See, that's now you're ruining it.
I know I'm moving.
You're ruining it because here's how it works. It works is like this, and I think it starts out with Avodah Hashem. If you see yourself as someone who's living to serve Hashem, yeah, and I may bring in that idea. We crown our king on Rosh Hashanah. There's a big difference between a king and a dictator. Right? What's the difference? Both are absolute powers. Both do whatever they want.
No, the Malbim goes in detail what
Look what's there. Oh, go back up. This is my heaven. Shabbaton. Oh, good. Wow. My boy. Wow, look at that. How you guys doing? Good? This still yeshiva? Yeah. Hanging in. Good. Well, why don't you come over for Shabbos? Now
we're coming here. Nobody else has their house now.
yeah, we got more rooms now. 2 weeks. Okay, come on over. We have room now. Come over. Shabbos before you for sure. Come, 100%. So you have my number. Come. So here's how it works. When you see yourself as Avodah Hashem, and you need something in service to Hashem, and he says it's a Shabbat talking clear. You can't change anything, but if it's something which is connected to Avodah Hashem, you can change things. It has to be real. Rabbi said it has to be real. It has to be sincere. It has to be a true trust in Hashem, and you have the koyach to make it happen like that.
But yet we have to admit.
So everybody always says, I guess. Here's how the conversation goes wrong. You find one time that the guy had a betachon, and he didn't see the good outcome, right? But you ignore along the way the 5, the 6, the 10, 15 times they did have good outcome. No one even talks about that, but that's normal. Hashem is good, Hashem does good things. What's happened? No, there's bitachon there. In Shar B'tachon, he brings in the Perigim, he brings situations. How come sometimes a tzaddik will suffer, and how come a Russia will benefit? He brings it. Okay, he brings it there. So in the Shar B'tachon, and he gets it in.
I mean, you have 8.5 years.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes the tzaddik can't be sober. The world can't be sober. The good that the tzaddik.
But you're talking things that you're talking.
How did you feel for 8 years?
Let me, I'll give you a simple formula. All these answers are good answers. They're all from the holiest Jews. I'll give you a simple formula, which is clear. If something happened already, that's the best thing that happened to me. I'm answering his question. If something happened already, then I live with the Emunah. If that was Rotzin Hashem, that's what Hashem wanted to happen. Hashem is ultimate good, and therefore it's good. Anyway, I woke up in the morning, day number 3,442. Okay, so I could have woke up
each day. You count?
No, I didn't. I'm making a joke because these whack.
Scratched on the wall.
But this is the point. A Yid has to only look at himself. What do I do now? Whatever happened to me until now is exactly what Hashem wanted to happen. This in here lies. People, it makes that sound simple, right? That's how you can be meichel people. That's how you can live a.
How do you know I'm dealing with that?
Everybody. This is a common problem.
One way not to be depressed.
Not being depressed. Because how much a person tries to change the course of his life, which he's supposed to, because he says over there, no matter what, you're supposed to try to do what you see is good for you to change it. So this gets complicated. Together with the emunah that Hashem does everything, Hashem wants you not to go and work to change it. Figure that out. A guy has a problem in work. A guy has success in work, right? Oh, well, actually, it's a problem. Yeah,
opportunity.
Right. So God for somebody that has a problem with health, somebody has a problem with shidduch. Yeah, together with the emunah that whatever happened until now, the boy is 27 already, the girl is 32 already. Together with the emunah that whatever happened until now is exactly it couldn't have happened any different. Listen to me a second. Hashem wants you now to do what you can to change the future. So the more you understand that you couldn't change the past, the more you understand the past was the best thing for you, the more you can now trust Hashem that the future will be a future that you want it to be.
But it's not necessarily fail.
No, it's not true. In Torah it says it's necessarily fail.
Explain how a million Jews turned into something. No, I don't say it seriously.
No. I'll tell you first of all.
I mean, I'm saying it dramatically, but I'm saying
inevitably. Explain me how Jews made it to 3,000 years ago.
I understand.
You understand? You give it a shove ways if nothing but so
no,
you have to weigh it.
So sometimes no.
Why no? No. Because the fact that Jews can exist, fact that Jews can exist from Har Sinai and to today is definitely more. Now I have a question: how did this happen with the Goyim? You have Golos, and you have Kapora, and you have all the expressions. What does it help you? I understand you in your life.
No, I took a dramatic example, but I'm saying you can close it down to your personal life.
Take an example that's more common. Okay. The problem is people in conversations. They're rather take an extreme example, and take a common example. You go out to work, and you're the B'tachon Hashem will help you. That's a common example.
That's fine.
So most people going to work are fed. They should get them
not to overcharge or whatever, or cut on the bread. But you were able to take and say that's what Hashem wants. Most people can't do that, like you said. Most people
why say they can't? I say they want to. They don't want to.
You fall into a trance, like you said, to be a happy Yid or to fall apart. You said, you cry. I'm sure you did some of that too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, how do you continue that?
I think the answer to that is once you know that this is what I shot. I story with the needle.
Easy to say.
Okay. I'll give you another story. The stories are in the book, really. But I'll give you a story. I'll give you a story. It's not in the book in a second. I got the stories in the book of the mail. This is an amazing story. I got a lot of mail from a lot of you every day. It was an amazing thing because I get 5 pieces of mail, 10 pieces of mail, sometimes 30 pieces of mail. Like amazing, you know. Imagine. You can't imagine. You're sitting out locked in the 27-year sentence. The world officially forgot about you. The world's going on. You're behind bars. Yeah. And every day you're reminded, Shalom Mordechai, we're diving for you. Shalom Mordechai, we care about you. Shalom Mordechai, I remember this story about you open letters and real people are diving for you. What does it do for you? It gives you chizuk, right? So you can take it 2 ways. You know, wow, I'm a popular guy, which is stupid. Or you can say, Hashem, which says, Hashem is showing me that He didn't forsake me, because He's awakening Yidden's heart. Any racham you see in this world is from Eibishter, not from the. So when you see a Jew helping you, it's not the Jew. Of course, the Jew gets credit, but yeah. But the racham comes. That's one of the first things that we're talking. Any racham comes from Eibishter. So I saw this as that I'm getting mail is a clear sign. Here comes an amazing story, and this amazing story played itself out in an amazing way because it gave me chizuk for the next 6 years. Well, it happened like for a year, number 1 or 2, because what happened was that the guy you see, I'm getting a lot of mail every day. So a lot of guys not getting anything, and one comes over to me, he's angry. Comes Rubashkin, I got to talk to you. Italian slang.
Someone else.
A white guy. He stops me. I don't think I got 8 pieces of mail, I think. Whatever. He tells me, I got to ask you a question. What kind of question can he ask? He tells me, why are you taking away all our mail? It is. And it's almost word for word. It's almost word for word. I give a look at this guy. I go, get out of here. How do you, why am I taking? You hear the question? Einstein's second cousin. How in the world could somebody think that mail that was written to me and my name could have been his? Come on, you know. Really, he is a forward thinker because today's liberals, they think that because what's right is right, fair is fair. If 100 pieces of mail came into the sack, everybody should get 1 piece of mail. Chutzpah, you're taking the 8 for yourself. Fair is fair.
That's all government.
Equity, yeah.
I'll take your money.
He was a forward thinker. I was a little behind. So he came at the time that how you talking? Anyways, I looked at the guy and I'm thinking to myself, we'll just walk away. Get out of this. I don't know what I'm gonna answer. But I sense if I'm going, the really what bothered me was hour. I got no coffee, so I didn't. Let's have a coffee. So, anyways, no, just coffee.
Coffee black?
Yeah, if you have coffee.
Yeah.
No sugar. No sugar, just black coffee. Thank you. So
the whole time.
Anyways, they're able to push me into the conversation here. I got to tell you something. It's a lesson for me. A lesson about I share a lot of stuff with everybody. The lesson was like this. So move over here.
Come here.
So that I start out with, how do you think it's my email? Look, every other has my name. Sure, not accepted. I say to him, what do you think? I said, I believe every day God's taking me out of prison. I said, I told the guy, tomorrow I'm not here. What do you think? Tomorrow we're going to have more mail? Because I'm not here? No, because my mail is going with me. It's my mail. See, all these mails come to me, and you're getting a smaller bag. Nothing. The guy starts standing his around. I'm thinking, how do I explain this to the guy? And I gaf zich a geweldige eten. I gave look. I gaf zich. While he's looking into the letters, I saw there's a guy who writes me always in Yiddish. So I opened the letter, and I say, listen, the guy, you know, even if you got my letter, you couldn't even read it. I opened it up and I said, it's in Yiddish. And he said, look, you can't even read it. I was trying to separate him from my mail. Like he looks at it, he says, see, it says over here, the Sholom Mordechai, that's me, not you. It says, I'm praying for you. He's praying for me. You got it? And like that. Anyways, finally he gets away. I realized it's not a joke. Again, so I got permission that I shouldn't have to go for the mail. I sent the guy I was with, he should pick up my mail, stay out of the harm's way. For weeks, I take things the way it's supposed to be taken. The Baal Shem Tov says, everything. Today's Vashanta is godless. He says everything a Yid sees and hears, he has to take a lesson of his Hashem. Something just happened to be very normal, crazy. A guy stops me. He wants to know why I'm taking away his mail. I answer him back. If you got my mail, I couldn't even read it. You can't get my mail. Whatever. I was trying to think, what's the lesson there? So
No one could take anything from you.
nothing. No? Deep. Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, but something,
No, for
I sense something was deep, and I davened to Hashem. It's over my mind, and I got it. Every person going through a challenge has a similar question in his mind. Listen to me. I went to my church. A guy going through a challenge always has his thought. You look around and you wonder, why can't my life not be like that guy? Right? I have family, I have friends. Everybody's outside. Thank you very much.
Oil cookies.
Okay. Really? That's good. And they're enjoying life, and they're going around, and they're doing what they have to do. Yeah. And where am I? Why can't my life not be like them? Everybody's the same problem. A guy needs a shidduch. Looks around his friends. He's the flunky in the class, and he is number. Everybody got married. He's 27. He doesn't have any kids yet. Yeah. A guy needs whatever. It's the same question. Everybody going through a challenge looks around and wonders, why can't my life not be like that guy? Yeah. And here I got my answer. My life is my mail. This story is so perfect because Hashem was teaching me. I was trying to explain to this guy, you can't get my mail because it was sent to me. Emunah means that Hashem creates me. Hashem gives me my mission. Hashem makes me, so tells me what I have to accomplish. I have to be born to my parents in Borough Park. The rest of my family is in Crown Heights, enjoying Fabrengen. I have to be born in Borough Park and go to Stone Yeshiva, and my friends are going to Tem Chatzmim. I have to be born in Borough Park and go to Tevedas, whatever. You know why? Because I look at my life right now, because exactly what had to happen to me, because I have to learn everything Hashem wanted to teach me. My life is my mail, meaning it can only come to me. I can't think to myself, why can't I get that guy's mail? Because Hashem, if you believe, now, of course you believe, that's an if. Emunah means Hashem creates me, and I create for a purpose. It follows that therefore everything about me, who I was born to, where I lived, who I met, what I do, what I didn't do, what I missed, what I gained, what I failed, my successes, my failures, everything has to do with what I have to accomplish in life. Before we get into the whole theory of the thing, that's a fact, yeah. So then comes the chizuk of this. When a person suddenly is given a mail, he opens his envelope and he thinks to himself, "Hey, Hashem wants me to be in prison. Wants me in prison with a sentence of 27 years, right? That's my mail. I shouldn't be looking around thinking, why can't my life be somebody else? My life couldn't be any different than it is." So in the letter, the same way I got letters, and Hashem is mechazik me. The people of Mechazik Shomot come diving for you. Hashem is mechazik me too. Hashem tells me, I gave you a hard job, and you have a difficult job to do, but I'm with you. You're not alone. That's the chizuk. So emunah means my life is exactly the way it's supposed to be. So whatever happened to me until now is exactly supposed to be. What I can do, what Hashem wants me to do, is if what I'm given is interfering with the way I think is good, or the way that I can see Hashem, Hashem allows me and wants me to dive into Him to give me a good that I can see also. That's betachon. And Hashem says this. You can't argue with this.
That's fine.
No. Hashem says this to me, that if you have betachon, then that betachon will change the situation you're in. Now you have a question. How come simply how the betachon didn't change? That's a question to a fact. That question doesn't change the fact, because then comes multiple answers to teach other people. Maybe betachon was not the way it's supposed to be. Maybe it's supposed to teach other people. Maybe like Moshe Rabbeinu had daven. If Hashem wants this dafka, if Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu, you keep on davening, you're gonna get it. Please stop davening because I can't let you go into yourself. So there's different situations where Hashem will say something else happens. But the marching orders, the real truth is that when you have betachon changes what Hashem wants to happen.
You say derech klal.
Not derech klal.
But it's obviously derech, not always.
Okay, so now how you see? So now here's how it goes. The Maral Meprog writes, and this is a lot of right. When a person throws fear into the mix, and when he doubts, that itself undoes the betachon. You have.
I was saying there was a failure in the betachon.
Yeah.
Say if you really
You, if a person lives every single day, what happened to me until now is exactly what's supposed to happen. And I accept it because it's from Hashem. That Amunah itself reveals Hashem's purpose, which is good. Okay, and then for the future, Hashem wants me to daven. So that Hashem will give me a good that I can see. I give me my health I need. Give me my money I need. Reveal it. And if the day finishes and you didn't get it, then you have to go back to Amunah and realize. So then I don't think there's a question there. That's exactly how I lived. Every morning I woke up with a betachon. Today's the day to be freed, and Baruch Hashem, the day they came.
But you also said two different things.
So that, can I ask about that?
This last question. Sometimes it could be a failure in your betachon.
Could be, of course, could be, yeah.
But it also could be other mitigating
Yeah.
factors that have nothing to do. You did
Nothing
your
you,
avodah.
yeah.
So
you do your avodah, and now you're happy at least that you're doing what she wants you to do.
no, fine.
You're good with that, okay?
No, I'm fine. But that comes to the point of not necessarily.
What?
If there's other mitigating things that could cause that, even though your avodah was 100% and it didn't happen, there could be mitigating things of a Kadosh Baruch Hu's cheshbon of why yes, you did your avodah, but I have my reasons.
I've heard the argument before.
I'm asking.
I've heard argument before, but that you see. And the stories, I said, and the stories, Hashem will
Yeah, that's right. It could be.
But your avodah is
The marching orders is have the betachon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
With
fine.
a surety. Don't think that I may
But
outsmart you.
But yes,
Don't have expectations.
You have to have
No,
don't have expectations.
You have to have
You
expectations.
have to have. He's saying. If you don't have the expectation, have the
See, that's what people deflate it. They want to say, "Don't be disappointed."
No, if you don't get what you expect, then you assume that nobody listens.
No,
but then you
there's a lot of parts to it that are coming in. I got to tell you a story like this. I had a what do you call a lawyer? I don't know if it was my lawyer or was my prosecutor. I'm not sure who he was, but I mean, seriously, because these you don't understand how the world works. They make deals between each other. It's not a joke.
Mm-hmm.
So because this guy watched them during the trial, that just didn't make sense. A lot of things he did. So one time he was pushing me to plead guilty. I said, I'm not guilty. I'm not pushing plead.
What year was this?
I don't during the whole term.
96.
96.
96.
No, 09 or 08. So I said, I'm not guilty. I'm not pleading guilty. So then another thing would happen that looks scary. You call me up. This is how. So I tell him, I'm going to the rabbi. I'm going to pray. Want to pray? So these guys in the middle of us said, pray. You pray. So one time, this one other guy came up and he pleaded guilty. He says, okay, now there's that. I said, listen, I don't care what they say. I am not guilty. So he says to me, I said, I want to pray. He said, you want to pray? God answered your prayers. And I lit up. Remember, I lit up. By me, God answered my prayers means I'm helped. Are you sure? Any person can tell him is Vayishma. This week, Vayishma Hashem is Kalei. Yeshua comes. We're talking about. So even the guy now understands that Hashem my prayers is going to be good. And he says to me, and the answer is no. I took So I'm going to explain to the guy that God doesn't answer no. I don't know. They show me one person in Chumash. And then
He answer no. He answers not.
Hashem never says no. Liar that got into people's language. That's it. Anyways, I had it out with him, and I said I want to pray anyways. Anyway, so then years later, we're sitting in this place called prison. I don't know if it happened the last year, next last year. It sounds better when it's the last year. I can't tell you. So I'll tell you dramatically. The last Pesach I was in prison. I think it was next to this, but it was close enough. And we're sitting there, and at that point in time, there was like 10. There was 20, maybe 10 of them were really Shem mitzvahs. So we had a Seder table. And we got to the point where it says, Vayitzak al Hashem. I can't say no, that part. After off says you're supposed to scream out because you get your shoes there. So I'm making a say this. I tell the guys, listen, guys, this is a point we can put your shoes. Let's scream out Hashem. Everybody starts screaming loud. Vayitzak Hashem and ask Hashem to get you out of prison. And one guy sitting there says to me, he's sitting there, he's not moving. She says to me, I got my answer. She said, yeah, but Hashem answer you. And he said, Hashem told me no. And it was like a bottle, yeah. And I didn't let it diffuse my enthusiasm. And we got into a whole conversation. You're talking about a guy could learn. a guy who's mamish. I have respect for him. I'll go. Meisha Billy. You're bucking my hair.
Rabbi, Birdie 908.
Meisha, I scared yesterday, by the way. Baruch. Hey, Baruch, I didn't make a mistake. Baruch, I'm going to be a Rabbi made room here. They made room. Here's the point. Point of this. We have to do what Hashem wants. So we got Hashem to hear us. Hashem never says no. We have to break through till about Nishma. Hashem said, it just happens to be that year, that Pesach, I argued and I fought and I explained them. And the that's it. That year later, I was out. Because that's the truth of the matter. We have the koyach to cry out to Hashem. We have the koyach and tefillah. The whole tefillah is chaneh by Hashem. The Yitzhak wants to come. Here's what's going on. The Yitzhak wants to come and throw cold water on what we can accomplish. Yes, I'm so sure. Well, a minute. Some people, yes. Some people, no. How do you know? I tell you, how you know? When you find something, says and tell you that this is the way it is, hold on to that. Hold on to it. Do it. Talk to Hashem and say, Hashem, you told me you're Torah. I think that's a few stories. This is the last Yom Kippur that I was there. It was Yom Kippur, every Yom Kippur, and I didn't follow the schedule. They shut down. We didn't have because I was in a very serious security place. I'm a dangerous guy. You have to be careful. I'm telling you. So they had what's called a controlled movement facility, which means they only let you out at a certain time and for 5 minutes. You got to get there and shut everything down. That's how they control you. So usually they let you out 4:30. You get to the chapel or 5:30. You get to the chapel. They let you go to the chapel, and I was counting on that move. The pay that day they canceled the 5:30 move. I came down 5:30 to go to Kol Nidrei, and the guy tells me, the thing is, the compound is closed till tomorrow. You can't get there. You know, you're standing in the building here, 2,000 feet away from you is a chapel where the guys are there Kol Nidrei, and I'm the only idiot out there. I thought I was going to faint. I looked around myself in a prison cell, a barracks. Everybody's sitting watching TV. All the sun is setting. The lights coming through. Remember the picture? And the sun is setting, and all the where am I here? It's a message Hashem doesn't like me. Hashem abandoned me. Ooh, I thought I was going to faint. I'm not exaggerating. I ran up the stairs into the cell. I thought to myself, so when I came in a situation, I always opened up a Shabbat Tachon. I mean it seriously. And I thought to myself, where do I find the situation in Shabbat Tachon? Because you can find every situation in life somewhere there. I'm telling you. Then it hit me that B'tachon is applicable even by mitzvah. So I grabbed the Shabbat Tachon, I opened it up, I found it, I started learning, because in order to do a mitzvah, there's 3 parts of the mitzvah, he explains. The part of mitzvah, you have to choose to do the mitzvah, you have to want to do the mitzvah, and then to be able to do the mitzvah, that's not in your hands. That's the Eibishter. So you could choose to do the mitzvah, you could want to do the mitzvah, and to be able to do the mitzvah, that Eibishter has to help you.
Should, but the version has
so our situations are, they took my film. Okay, God, you took away the film, so I can't put on film. It's your fault. I mean, the teacher, you took it away. It's your fault. But
that's what Hashem wants you to do.
Oh, so no, you're supposed to say, no, Hashem, I want to put on film. I want to go to the church. I want to daven. I'm choosing to want to, and now it's Hashem who's going to happen. So I have a tachon. The first 2 you can't have a tachon.
Hashem's going to do it for you.
Yeah, they have a tachon. I can't say this is a story happened. I sat down and I learned and I was misbehaving and I worked on this idea that Hashem is the owner control to get me there. I'm choosing to go to daven. I'm choosing to go to Kol Nidrei with a minion. I'm choosing to do the mitzvah. I can't do it myself. The door's locked. Mitamol, I hear an announcement. The guard screams out, Rubashkin. I went over to him. I was fighting with him. Rubashkin. I realized something was going on. I grabbed my stuff and I ran downstairs. I saw. He says they just opened up a chapel for you. They opened the compound. So I opened the sudden door opened up. I walked to the chapel. There was a guy, this ghosting guy that was there. Before he has a brother, Moshe. Moshe was standing inside and he was dancing. He was so freilich. What happened? They opened the door. He says there was a whole bet in the chapel. There was like 20 guys there, 22 guys. And there was a bet if Rubashkin is going to make it or not. Everybody said Rubashkin ain't making it. They shut the thing down. And Moshe said Rubashkin is going to make it. He was waiting. I got through. I got to Kefir Kol Nidre. That was the last Yom Kippur I was there. So what does the story teach you? What does the story teach you? The story teaches us that we have to do this. We have to take direction what Hashem says. There is a Yetzer Hara and some doubt. What are you talking about? This guy did have. This guy didn't have. What does that do with you? You know, it says in Gemara. It says.
Nobody would have done this. This is what I'm trying to
No,
get.
it's not.
I would have gone back to the cell and said, "Call me by myself." What are you supposed to do?
Oh, but if you learn Shabbat B'tachon and you refer back to what you're supposed to do, so that was the marching orders. What you're supposed to do, have B'tachon, Hashem will help you. That's the point.
Unless.
Okay, so here, listen to this. Listen to this. I'll tell you another crazy story. You know what I'm crazy story? This is an amazing story. This
You
not
write a journal about everything as you're going
The
through?
right things there.
I typed everything out there. Right.
Yeah. Wait, I'm supposed to get
Not after 8 years. I'm talking about
In the correctional facility, they place the correct people. It's a wonderful place. They have a visiting room. This is an amazing story. I say it's short because it's a lesson what we're talking about over here. So to get a visit was like a Yeshua, because you locked them with all these wonderful. It's a privilege. Yeah. It's a wonderful people over there. You locked in, and then it's Friday, Shabbos, not again. Sunday, Monday, they let the family to come in and friends to come in to visit you. So that's like a mini freedom.
Even though you're so dangerous.
We're there.
Americans are justices.
That's the mess. Hey, they fisk anyway. So you sit
They
down.
knew the
Yeah.
whole thing was belong.
So sitting over there, but to get in there, you need points. You need points. So they give you. It's a wonderful country. They give you 12 points. Right? If you do the math, you need more to get a visit Friday, Sunday, and Monday. You need more than 12 points because Friday is 1 point, Sunday is 2 points, and Monday is 1 point. 4 times 4. Even if some months are 5 weeks, this has 4 times 4, 16. You're not gonna make it. So and then sometimes it happens. Most weeks they always have a national holiday. Washington was born, Lincoln was born. These things happen. Who cares? Anyways, but they charge you 2 points for Monday that Washington was born. I care if Washington was born, but that means if I take away 1 point, I can't get a visit for next Friday. So I went over to the captain and I complained to him. I said, I complained. Usually it goes like this. I just like out of a status. I went over there and I said, "Tell me, explain what's going on over here. You're charging points because you just want to charge points. You don't, or you're charging points of crowd control. Nobody's there. Mondays, holidays, everybody's shopping. Labor Day sales, this way, Washington sales. Sunday is busy talking. Of Monday, so what are you charging 2 points for? I was trying to have a point. That sounds silly, but this is Mamasha. So he says, this is the nest. The nest is, he says, are you right? Yeah, so if you need more points, come to me, I'll give you more points. He's in charge of that room. We came in Avodah now every month. If I'm missing 2-3 points end of the month, I'd go to him. And
Mondays.
I'd go to him, not more Monday, anytime. And anytime, we worked anytime. So let's say I used up 11 points. I need to have now for the weekend, Friday and Sunday, Monday, 3-4 points more. I capped them by that. I said, "This captain." I wrote on the bottom, if the place fills up, I'll be the first one to leave. That's all you asked me for. I'll do that for you. But please give me extra 4 points. I need every time he did it. And to show you the miracle, it's like a malach likim, because to show you the miracle, if he wasn't there, as he went on a business, he went on a seminar somewhere, a vacation, nobody else would do it. He did it. Like the Abish sent a malach. Who did I thank for the points? The Abish there. Then one day, I go to so after I got the paper signed, now I gotta get into the computer because the computer has to know when they come. The family comes outside to visit. So there's the counselor. I have his name, counselor. The counselor is the end of the counselor. Anyway, the counselor tells me, "What are you always coming to me every month, bothering me to put into the computer? Get for the whole year, for the whole month to finish. Let's up it. Get for the whole year. I'm sorry, for the whole year." I said, "Good space for the whole year." Yeah. I said, "Good." So I go over to the captain. I say, "I made a cheshbon. I calculated in the worst case scenario, it's 5 weeks, and there's a national holiday. How many points are we wasting?" I made a cheshbon about 6 points. So I said to him, "Listen, you give me a permission for 6 points every month. Something like 2, something like 3, something like 4, something like 6. And that's what the guy wants. So it's true. He signed with him. So who did I thank for this? David. Right? Who's doing with the chesed? Rachamim comes from David. Then a few months pass by, and I find out the rumor has it that the captain is leaving. Mazel tov.
Already in the book right now.
You read the book, not in the book. But you maybe heard me. I said the story a lot of times.
He gave you the point, huh?
So best of all, my neighbor.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, should I message maybe?
Yeah.
Give him a regards for me. Please.
South Dakota the whole time?
Now this is North New York. Now this is South Dakota. They should ship me to Orozco.
But now you have all your points for the year, no?
I had it, but now it's June of the year, and he's leaving. He's retiring after the new of the year. I have a big shaila. Because if I go to him now, here's my question. Because I learned Shabbat that B'tachon works, and you can hurt your B'tachon if you're afraid or if you have questions. So if I'm going into him now, I'm asking for points for next year. What am I saying?
You don't trust.
I think I'm staying here next year. Yeah. I'm supposed to be living with Amunah. Whatever happened is good. And B'tachon
Plan?
Yeah, so I planned. So when the next year comes in, I'll plan. Right now I'm good. I'm telling Eibishter, sounds like come on. So I always say, well, come on, man. You know, come on, man. That's mistakes harder, man. That's what it is. But come on, I looked, I learned, I couldn't find the answer to this. Then I had a second question. Who is having Rachmanis on me? The captain or the Eibishter? The Eibishter, obviously, yeah? There was no question. So why am I making it as if the captain is giving me points? Yeah, you got Shliach. Yes, he's Habba. But he's not giving me points. They give me points. So the Selber cap, the Eibishter found this guy to give points. So when he leaves, I'm never the guy. So from both sides, I had a real. The debate here wasn't about points anymore. It was where do I hold my mouth? Yeah, what's going on over here? This whole mice of points turned into a whole different discussion. It wasn't about points. It was about who's giving me the points, the Eibishter, the captain, and do I have to prepare now for next year or not? If my preparation for next year is a contradiction to my Munah B'tachon,
Just do your stadless. Do what you can. You can chopper in. Do what you can.
But you can't do it for next year. Why not? You're not allowed to
So
plan on
if
Shabbos
so-
for Sunday. No
yeah.
Shabbos
So you learn Shabbat B'tachon. You do certain things. You do certain things. This guy. I'm trying to shock you or anything. I'm telling you a story that happened. You can take it for what it is. You don't have to accept it. There's nobody holding a gun. There's nobody holding a gun here. You don't have to agree. You don't have to agree with me either. I'm just telling you a story that happened. This was my quandary. My quandary was: am I doing something which contradicts my B'tachon, or I'm just using the word status, but really I'm doing something because I don't think
After Tisha B'Av, do you put your Eicha away or you put it in Jameis?
people put in shame mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asking you.
It's a bunch of blood. Yosef, my baby was
And I didn't finish the story.
And that was a
Hanging around.
I'm answering your question. Here's the point I'm trying to tell you about stories. The point is what we do reveals where we're at. So June was very easy to push it off. July came, August came, September came, now it's getting hotter, right? And at a certain point in time, I felt like you're saying, okay, you're crazy. You found the guy, go do your status. But on the other hand, what kind of status? How does status get in it? If you learn Shabbat B'tachon, what status really means, it doesn't really fit because you want Hashem to do something through what you're doing. Right now, you're good. Why are you preparing something for next year? Because you believe it's the guy who's giving you the points, not Hashem. It's really one fits the other. There's a big problem here, guys.
I hear.
There's a problem here. You can say it's not such a big problem.
That's what happened with Yosef. It was a problem.
October, November, December 20, 2017, Hashem freed me from jail. That year. That's one thing. December 20, 2017 is when I was freed. That's what happened. That's the background story to the whole thing. And I really believe, thank you, Hashem. And I really believe if Chas v'Sholom, I would have gone to ask for more points. I could have messed it up. I really believe that, yeah. Because this was not avoided. Here, guys, we're not matching
in the back door.
We're not comparing notes here. We're trying to explain something. There are things a person can do or cannot do, or things they can do that it contradicts your B'tachon. So you claim you have B'tachon, and then you're doing contradictory stuff. So we have to be careful with that. But the fact is, I didn't invent the idea that B'tachon works. Hashem tells me B'tachon works. The same Hashem who tells me to receive everything He does with love and with simcha. It's the same. Hashem tells me, if you want to change it, trust me to change it. Now, what trust me? Nothing what trust means. Everybody in all these, and this is where some of the organizations do a disservice in their disseminating the message. If you look at most of the dissemination of B'tachon, where do they really focus on? The 7 things you can trust in. Somebody loves you, somebody cares, somebody who knows what's happening. That's Peri Beis of B'tachon. But they don't discuss Peri Gimel. Peri Gimel talks about B'tachon is a midah keneged midah. I mentioned this before. But a person who has B'tachon Hashem is the type of person who will try, because nobody's perfect, he will try very hard to do what Hashem wants. That's his goal. And that's what drove me. A person of B'tachon means I am an Eved Hashem. I'm created by Hashem and I have a job to do. So I will try to very hard to do what Hashem wants me to do.
So my father's definition was remaining steadfast in his way. That's B'tachon.
Okay. Close enough. Close. Okay. Not changing and doing what Hashem wants. Why? And he says why. The same way the B'tech Hashem wants Hashem to be maskim, use the word maskim. Wants Hashem to agree with him to do what he's asking him to do. So Hashem is showing a person that he wants him to be in trouble right now with the law. He wants to be in prison. And for 27 years. So I want Hashem to be maskim. No. Hashem be maskim. That should be 27 years, it should be less. Right? So how do I do that? What's the B'tachon mean? I'm going to try very hard what Hashem wants me to do. That's the word. So I'll get up in the morning, I'll tell him. I'll get up in the morning and I'll learn.
Without the key of your akasha. This being steadfast without saying, because I want it, but just being steadfast.
Yeah, but I'm going to do what Hashem wants, so you do what you want. Look at me go. He says it clearly. That's a natural flow. Hashem, I'm doing what you want. Now, I want to say one more thing.
But you don't expect.
You do expect it.
But the Pele says you're not supposed to.
Why not?
Make your
You're supposed to do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, that's a madrega. I'll take Hashem. Yeah, but I'll tell you, but you lie. Here he says he could do that. I say the same. He says he should do it that way. Here's a kicker over here, and that's why I said before that you have to understand the one who has B'tachon Hashem is somebody who realizes that Hashem does everything. If you're on a level where you feel Hashem does everything and everything is Hashem, what do you think you're going to do?
You stop.
Conversation.
You get up in the morning.
So stars is the 5th Akdama. But the stars comes at the end, after you realize you can't do anything. So it works out like this. B'tech Hashem is somebody who wants to do what Hashem wants because he feels that's what he's created for. It all fits in so seamlessly. He's always happy. I'm singing a song now, Rabbi. I want to say something here. He was here before, I should have asked, but I was freed. Barshalai freed me. So I wasn't supposed to be talking to the guys inside, right? But they called my family, so I was interested to hear what's going on over there. So one guy reports like this: if the Rebbe Shabbat was out of there, they hear one guard asking another guard, "Who is this Rubashkin that President Trump just signed it?" They heard this going like on stomach. So the other guard turns around and he wants to describe me. How do you think he described me? The guy with the beard? The crazy Jew. How do you? He says, you know the guy that was always happy? That's the guy.
Wow.
The guy says, he described, but he was always happy. I walked around with some sugar.
He got it from you.
You didn't have one bad day?
No. So he asked a good question. He asked a question that I have one bad day. So I got out. They was freed me. And wanting to thank Hashem for the greatness of great good, I had to think, so what was my worst challenging day? What was my most depressing day in the place called Vision?
Shabbos. Couldn't daven.
Yeah, you couldn't, yeah. But depressing? So I tried to find a day that I was very, 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 very depressed. Funny thing is, I couldn't find a day like that. That's fine. How do I say? What's that? I wasn't challenged. I was challenged with depression every day. So I want to say something.
That's why I said nobody could.
Oh no! It's very practical. Very, very practical advice. We all chasanim here. One of the fundamental. I gotta say this. One of the most fundamental advice that chasanim are given, hope Carl's are given also. I imagine both sides. that you never, if you have, it doesn't never happens really, but sometimes theoretically, a husband and wife can get a different get upset with each other. Never happens, right? So they teach you, they teach you in college classes, if it happens once in 50 years, don't go to sleep angry at each other. Always make sure that by the time you get to sleep, you resolve the issue. Because they state, right?
I haven't slept in 3 days.
But it's probably the best advice you be given, because sometimes it happens, and you realize, what's second, we take upset, to not go angry, you work it out, one sort of forgiveness, and you go right. Yeah. The same thing here. A person could be child with a person. Because a person is has the Yetzer Hara. The Yetzer Hara is going to throw depressing thoughts on them, and that's normal. It's not tight. You had a depressing thought in the physical prison, something's wrong with you. It's very normal, right? But don't go to sleep. Don't end the conversation depressed. There's one thing, being challenged with depression. There's nothing being depressed. That's a whole different story. Because depression means something's wrong. Depression means it could have had a different outcome. Depression means that you're lifeless. You can't go on further. So you'll fight depression because the Yetzer Hara wants to give you all the reasons why you're going depressed. And you can say, I understand your reasons, but I choose to follow what Torah teaches me. I'm a Yid. Hashem loves me. I can do a mitzvah. I can change things. How bad the thing looks like right now, that's where B'tochen comes in. How bad things look right now, I have B'tochen that Hashem will change it for me. You know, be depressed. I'll be happy. Hashem wants me a mission. I'm here in a difficult situation because Hashem wants to see if this situation is going to change me. I won't change. All these thoughts we spoke about for the last hour. So why should I be depressed? It's hard, maybe painful, but not depressed. And that's why I can tell you, that's what I worked on. That's what I worked on, knowing this is going to happen. It wasn't a question if I would be challenged with depression. The question was, when I'm challenged with depression, how do I answer it? You have what's going on over here. So we get the answers from. We get the answers from Torah. You don't sharp talking to any sefer you want that talks about this in Yonim, and then you answer, and then you don't get depressed. That's a whole different thing. You know, because this thing is going to unwind very quickly soon. I'll leave you. How do you define the word trauma? Trauma. Last time I did it didn't work out so well. I'm trying to get it anyways. How do you define the word trauma?
A shock to the system.
A shock to the system. Okay.
A lot deeper than that.
Something happened that shocked you. A boogeyman, even a spook house. No. Tell me, define me the word trauma. Stuck in the past. Stuck in the past. Okay.
Hidden. How do you call it?
You know what the word trauma means, by the way. Trauma is a Greek word. You know, trauma comes from the word Greek. Trauma in the language of the Greeks means a wound. That's what it means. But they never used it. Interesting. All the Greek philosophers, they never used the word trauma for mental wounds, but for physical wounds. They don't use the word trauma for mental. It's interesting. We adopted a word from Greek that's simply for physical wounds. They've been busy fighting and killing people. That's a trauma.
Also in Russian.
Russian also?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Trauma.
Okay, so I'll tell you what trauma means. I shall give a definition. Who am I? I'll give a definition. I can only have my opinion. Everybody can weigh in. I'll weigh in. You agree, it's fine. You don't agree, it's fine.
You can have your own opinion.
Yeah, I have my opinion. I'll tell you what trauma is. Apitated. Trauma, and that's the and what I guess what I'm trying to drive at. If you define trauma like that, then you can find the healing from trauma. I guess that's what I'm really driving at. I'm not sure everybody here defined it correctly. It's something happened in the past that really shook you up. That's painful, that can haunt you, that pulls you down. And you call it a trauma. As you call it, a wound. It took you apart, maybe, yeah. So try to say this in a Torah way, and then you can find the healing for it also. Trauma is something happened to you in the past, yeah, that you think you could have avoided. Trauma is something that happened in the past that you think that if it didn't happen, you'd be better off without it.
If you did this, you would have avoided.
That's what trauma. Real trauma is, and watch people. It was a traumatic experience because part of the trauma was there because if I only did this, it wouldn't have happened to me. Or if it didn't happen to me, my life would be different. My life would be better. Amunah means, and the Rebbe, this is
Somebody was molested.
Come on, talk to regular thing of trauma. You got an accident.
He had a bad relationship.
Okay, let's talk about that. So he had to go through the relationships. All these situations, we always grab the 3% that's really extreme. We try to find around. Talk about regular stuff. Traumatic events. Most traumatic events are you had a bad teacher, you had somebody slap you shouldn't have slapped you. Huh? You had a bully in the class. I don't know, but most traumas, you're on the line for Starbucks and somebody cut you off. That's a traumatic event, like that. Huh? Huh? Today, what are you talking about? My teacher screamed at me. Ooh, aha.
My wife thinks that
When you came out.
Huh?
It's not traumatic.
I want to know, how do you know these shoes?
No, but hier de grap over here. Het is een richtige woord. I'm not saying, see, here you go. I didn't want to cut you off like that.
Yeah.
And because when you get to more complicated stuff, you go on different conversations. But it holds there also. When Emunah means if you see yourself, I was born to the parents, I couldn't have born to any other parents. I speak to people. One woman tells me she's convinced that if she was born to different parents, she'd have a better life. I said, lady, you couldn't have been born to different parents because you would be different. If you were born to different parents, you wouldn't be you. I mean, imagine Terach was born, imagine that Avraham Avinu was born to Noach instead of Terach. Right? Terach was no good. Avraham Avinu was born to a molester, an abuser. He broke a few of his dolls. He ran to massacre him to the king and Moser. And Noach would have been a nice, beautiful life. He would have had a lot of Ishtamim. He would have been Avraham Avinu. Why would he have to be born to Terach? Because then he wouldn't be Avraham Avinu if he wasn't born to Terach. This is Emunah. That's Emunah. Pasha. How do you face Avraham Avinu? A Yid that was born in the most miserable situation that can be, trauma on steroids. The poor guy. I mean, from his birth, they're trying to kill the poor kid. This, that's thatness. Yeah, and they go. Finally, he gets it right. He walks around. He screams, "Hashem, boy!" And boom, they put him in prison for 10 years. Poor guy. Come on. They throw him into fire. That's Avraham Avinu. You just described him Avinu. Eid was every circumstance screamed at Hashem. So that was trauma. That was trauma. Why is it trauma? He saw everything in his life exactly what it was supposed to be. It couldn't have been different. So if you can get there, here's my point. If you can understand it that way, that's your four right there. Maybe you can't. I say you could. So then pop a few pills. I'm trying to say, if you can understand the Emunah, that my life, I was born a Levi. I couldn't have been any other better Levi. I'm a Levi. What do I say about that? I had to be born. Everything about me, I couldn't be. So then events that happened to me are not traumatic. Then the shyonis, the challenges, the tests, the missions that have purposes. I had to encounter. I had to move out to Iowa and do it. I didn't get smashed up. That was my Aveda. And not to become depressed about it. So that's how Emunah helps you out of depression. What's going on over here? So instead of
People still go through trauma.
it was not trauma anymore. It's called Nasoyan. It changed the word.
Change the word.
It changed the word.
Change the outlook.
It changed the word.
It's really changed.
When you say the word outlook, then it sounds like you have a choice to look this way or the other way. When you say the change your belief to what the real belief is, we're Yidden. If a guy told you right now, bow down to Avodah Zarah, you'd never do it. So why when he tells you it could have been different, that's a mamash Avodah Zarah. A guy, my parents, okay, whatever. There's so many examples to this. It's good. So what I'm trying to do is did I not have traumatic events in it? Whoa. In prison, forget about it. Oh, I was with a guy in a cell. He was a skinhead. What are you talking? You're funny. And I one guy. Imagine getting up in the middle of the night. You see the guy standing by the sink, and he's like shaking. He's drunk. He's drunk on drugs for sure. You're locked into the cell with this guy. He's a 6-footer, strong as an ox, and he's washing his sneakers. It was 2 o'clock in the morning. He's washing his sneakers. I don't know what I got to do.
That's so exciting. So you don't wash your sneakers at 2 o'clock?
No, that's the average thing people do. They wash sneakers at 2 o'clock in the morning and shaking like that. You're talking. So this is what Hashem wants me to go through, and I have to remain sane, and I have to remain with simcha, and I have to show Hashem I love you, and you love me, and we're doing good. And Habetach, got me out of here.
You still have fear.
No. I wasn't afraid because Hashem is with me. Your fear comes from feeling that Hashem has abandoned you.
Fear undermines your emunah, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need a second.
Okay, no. I'm saying. So this is the word. Follow what it says in Torah. The fact they have questions is not because you have a Yitzhara. It's coming from.
But I guess that issue came as you knew it's coming.
I was told for years that it's coming and coming and coming. So I chose to realize that I'm not going by. I'm going by the Eibishter.
Did you know it was coming and when it did come?
No, I didn't. I remember didn't know. I actually thought they throw me in the shoe. I thought they're coming to throw me into the shoe.
What was his cup of Trump that he?
The Eibishter made him. You know, by the way, everybody has what to say as a form of Trump. I want to tell you what it says. When Eibishter freed me from prison, I was on the bus. No, I wrote him a letter, and the Askonim that were involved was the Taiskom were involved in getting him to write this commutation. Wanted me to write a letter of thanks, and they wrote the letter. Like everything America is fake. When you can't get up there, everything is like the president is beating off maybe not even the president. Somebody's talking to who. So the kids said so I remember I was in the car and I wasn't functioning with all this high technology stuff with anyways. He's reading me the letter on the phone. And it was like, I thank you so much. You do so good, and you gave me, you feed me, you this. I said, stop. Well, he feed me, they feed me. If I had that in the zeal to thank the president, they were saying things you're not allowed to say. So how are you supposed to say it? So when you learn, you know. So I opened the Shabbat and could laugh and tell it tomorrow. I have a small pack and Perik Dal, it tells you how to thank somebody that's good for you because he didn't do it. David does everything. So here is what he writes, and here's what you should think of President Trump. You thank him for having a good heart, and you thank him for being the one that Hashem uses to bring a Yeshua, because Hashem only uses good people to do Yeshuas. So how could anybody say about what they say about this president, a wonderful person, L'chaim, long live Donald Trump? No, he writes over there. No, he did. He writes that the does good. Designed a letter, that paragraph. It was written the way it says Shabbat. I've always Hashem will free me, and Hashem only works with righteous people, good people. So Hashem chose you, the most righteous person that Hashem could find, to do it. How's that sound? Aggressive dying. The better Elul is aggressive. Ich thank him. No, you heard before. But this is no.
You go to the White House?
I got him. Yeah.
So how do you know what your bitachon should be or needs to be? Like, where does it start? What's your part? And also, emuna. To what extent should you have emuna and just leave it there? I'm going through a situation, and I'm trying to figure that out. It's a very overwhelming situation where it's like overtaking me physically.
Oh boy!
And
so we started at Fabrengen with this idea that we said the story. Maybe one here. It's a good story, you should know. I walked into a conversation from real people, and this guy is charged. His job is to analyze. And like I said at the beginning, I'll say the story again. It's an amazing story. This guy is charged with analyzation to analyze data. I know the guy. He's a very smart guy. This is kind of nice, and he works for a grocery company. He works a lot off the internet, internet, and he's trying to figure out what prompts people to cancel orders. So here's what he found out: that the 4 years of data, and he claims this is real stuff.
400%.
400%, yeah. If a guy is ordering something and everything is there, he wants this, he wants this, he wants that, he'll order it through. He'll be okay. What happens if he's trying to order something and he's missing here, he's missing it, missing this and there? There's 400. I never understand. How do you 400%? I can't understand. 400% more, whatever it means. people smarter than me maybe figured out it's more than 100%. I thought after 100% you do 400% more chance of a guy canceling an order when things are missing if there's no sales rep available. If the sales are available that you can talk to, that will explain to him, okay, this is missing, I'll do that, he will not cancel the order. Okay. So I walked into this conversation and I said to them, okay, it was on Shabbos. I hate when people talk about business on Shabbos. I was trying to swing it around to something Jewish. I said, okay, so what's the lesson here? What's the lesson here in Avodas Hashem? What's the lesson here in serving Hashem? So we thought about it. We came with this idea. We go through life. If life has all the parts to it, then we don't cancel anything. We're happy. We thank Hashem for it. What happens if you go through life, you're missing a piece here, missing a piece, you're ordering, Hashem, I need this, you're missing something in life. Right? So you want to cancel. Cancel this order. Who needs life like this anyway? So in other words, you have a dilemma. You can't cancel life, I mean, obviously, but so if you have a sales rep with you, then you have 400% less chance to do that, to become despondent. I said,
Okay.
you have to go to a Rav, you have to go to somebody you trust, somebody who understands data. Yeah, I mean it very seriously.
No. So
you have to discuss with them because in 2 words, Munah means believing Hashem creates you. Hashem creates you for a purpose, and everything happens to you is only good. And Hashem wants something from you. It's a question.
So that's. I guess I have to go like a little deeper. I just don't want to, get too personal.
That's why I said it. So
you say it to someone else.
I wake up to chicken, and I know I'm not going to.
What's in your basement?
I lived on your block.
Oh, right.
How are you? How's Wisconsin? You still
Well,
in Granite?
No. I moved to Jackson. Jackson, just nice to see them.
My daughter's in Tom's River.
Oh, we get straight in 20 minutes.
Except the walk is about
you can't walk. Drive 20 minutes.
So they don't have a Sikh there. I want to walk to the Sikh. You know how far it is? Yeah. I'm all the way by Silverton. And if I want, I can go to Chateau on the 9. It's about, my daughter says about 3
So basically, it's more of a situation of I'm working with somebody and I'm owed a lot of money. So and the person doesn't want me to leave because I do not saying this in American, but I bring in most of the business. So since he owes me a lot of money, he feels he has me, So what he tries to do is hold it back. So now I'm at the point where I just can't keep doing it. Yeah, obviously I'm getting paid, but my balance is building up as well. So the question is, what do I do about looking for something else, or do I not even do that? Do I say, look, you know what? Even though I technically earned the paper, but God decided this is what I should get paid. This is what I should get paid. So that's it. I shouldn't even get anything else. Or do I go ahead and say, okay, goodbye. Look, you're not doing it. That's it. It's done. It's already been happening for so long. I made an agreement. I made another agreement. Keep breaking the agreement. And then the question is, do I stress about that? I don't want change. Change is difficult for everybody. I'm a person who's even more so, I think. So the question is, what do I just say? Okay, Hashem, I did my part. I worked. I think I got did what I had to do, and now give up, or now go ahead and hire a lawyer. And go ahead and leave and go for something else, and then even doing that, what are my
There's 2 parts. I think there's 2 parts to your question.
Yeah, there are.
One part of the question is, one part of the question is what you do is when a person has a taina on somebody and chesed mishpat, means in
the person's not
denying
that
fighting for your money is not a contradiction to your emunah. That's your money. You're supposed to fight. If Apitar is your money, you're allowed to fight for your money. You're not supposed to say, well, it's not mine. So the reason why Hashem puts in the Torah because it's yours. You're supposed to try to get it. Now, if you decide what you want to do, that's his decision. But So this one side is should you be fighting for your money or not? The other side of it is should you continue doing what you're doing now? And that I would suggest that you should learn. Shabbat talks about a status, why you do the status you're doing, and see if it fits to why you're doing what you're doing. Because what he says over there in the short is that the only reason Hashem wants us to do anything is because Hashem does everything, but sometimes Hashem works through causes. So he wants us to be part of the causes that happen. Or make a vessel. So, like for example, he gives an example. If Hashem put food in front of you to sustain you, the food wouldn't sustain you unless you picked it up, you chewed and you swallowed. And if you have to do more, you have to cook the food. If you do more, you have to buy the food. So he's has to earn the money for the food. So what he's doing is he's being proof that Hashem creates us in a way, even though Hashem is the one who's sustaining us, but he wants us to be part of that chain. It causes to this. So the only reason we go to do something is because Hashem wants to be part of his causes. So what you're doing, you're going to work, is you're doing what Hashem wants. So how do you know what Hashem wants you to do? So first he says, why does Hashem do that? Because Hashem wants to test us. And we shouldn't rebel. And then the way you figure out what Hashem wants you to do is about examining your nature, your likes and dislikes. He brings example, for example, if an animal, Hashem will give an animal certain instincts to get its food. Like the bird has the feet to catch its fish, whatever, the deer, the speed, the lion, the strength. So these are all parts you have to really understand what you're doing. So you have an idea.
Part of my nature is a problem, which is why it got to the point where it got. I in a way, I let it happen because
you're talking about the past, you're in the future.
Right. So now the question is the future. So what do I do to?
So I suggest we get clarity. Two things. First, you get somebody you can talk to that knows
which I have.
Okay, and then for clarity, open up a Shabbat and learn it. The challenge most people have with B'tachon is that since innately we're Jewish, so innately we have Emunah, we have B'tachon, people don't work on revealing it. People don't work on understanding it. Have B'tachon, you heard the word, like I said this, that made sense. You're trying to put together some haze. When you learn, this what I did was I studied inside. Once you study inside, he's very, very clear and concise in everything he writes. So you can find your answer in what he writes. So all it takes you is a few hours, learn what he writes, and then you can at least understand the advice you're being given. So just take the time. You seem like a smart person.
I have going on a while.
Learn you Shabbat?
Many years ago now.
Okay. So how can you? So he says something else.
I'm saying I do
learning something many years ago. You have to understand. You're working against yourself. How old are you now? 32. So you're working with a mature brain of 30 something, right? But you're trying to figure something out with something you learned when you were 22. See how it's working against you. So in secular ideas, you're matured, but your ideas in Torah, you're trying to solve your secular ideas that you know as a 34-year-old with ideas in Torah that you know as a 22-year-old. It's a little bit uneven, the fight. You understand? So that I thought my word. He says this about the Rabbi. So he says that's why you have to constantly learn, because as you're learning, you're maturing. As you're maturing, you're understanding things on a different level. So you can't rely on what you learned in class about Yosef and his brothers or about Matan Torah to give you the highest and the Geshmak about Torah when you're 34. You have to learn as a 34-year-old.
Right. Okay, and the Hishtadlus part.
Same thing. You have to learn it again as you're in your situation. You'll learn it from inside, and you'll glean a lot of beautiful information.
Okay, but I'm saying
I'm not avoiding the cash, but you have two things about it. One thing is about Cheshem Mishpah, second thing is about B'tachon.
Right, so I understand, and I figured to an extent, but so my question is, in that, is it, so now, should I currently work on the future, meaning, okay, look, this is a bad situation, so you have to figure out what you're going to do next. And the question is, to what extent?
Right.
Meaning, just have a basic idea, hey, look, I know I'll be able to get into something, or does it have to be very specific?
Learn, I'm telling you, don't skirt the issue. Grab the bull by the horns, take a few hours, learn it, study it, understand it, discuss it with your Rav, and then you'll see it gets a lot clearer than you think it does.
Rubashkin, you have to hear the story about the car. With the gewehr.
I said I agree.
Rabbi, here was the story.
So
there was a gewehr. I got to happy to say the story. There was a gewehr. Had a tremendous talent.
No.
Yeah, he's a very geschmack.
Tremendous what?
the tremendous chushin chesed. My wife, I was in Otisville, New York. My wife, they brought my wife to a place called Monsey. And there, for sure. And there, Baruch Hashem, no, this is for sure. Then she moved over to West Hampstead, and they took everything away. So they Eden got together, and the battery's running low on this thing. So the Eden got together, and they actually helped the family get a house. So interesting. That's actually where. So that's many of the many listen. So at one point in time, this wealthy guy. Learned about our plight, and he decided to make my wife's life easier to put in a new kitchen. Yeah, so he sent me 2 workers, and they took down and put in a whole new modern kitchen. I said, just what type of guy he is. It's my actually, my wife initially started out because older house. You got some cabinets. Somebody was remaking the house. You had used cabinets. You threw it all away, and I'm sending you workers, and she made a whole new kitchen. So I came into a nice, new, beautiful kitchen. Anyway, so this is the guy I'm trying to tell you. He's a wonderful Jewish man. So the Eibush stopped. I'm Basham Fried, and I went to meet people. And one of the people I went to meet is this wonderful guy. And we came to his office, and he bought pizza, and we're enjoying the pizza. And I'm telling him, there was the first 2 weeks. Remember, there was like dancing in the streets and the schools and dancing. It was like a lot of excitement going on. And I'm sharing with him, like look at that. You work so hard. You have family in hard times. Now it's good times. I look at the Eden, the Eibush is helping, and he's listening. And then finally, when I ran out of steam, he says, "Okay, now let me tell you something." He got very serious. I got very serious on me. He said, "Listen, I'm working with these guys. They go to prison for years. He's Aleph Institute out of Florida. Lipsky is an amazing guy.
Rabbi Katz.
Rubashkin, they're amazing people, and they do. LA, no? And he works with them. Yeah, and they works with them. And he says, I've seen people go in that. People go, and I'm telling you now, you're just like he was trying to figure out what's going on because he's never seen this before. Like guy coming out and there's some excitement. He's not. He says, I tell you what's happening. I bet you what's happening is that there's so much excitement. So you're working on a high, but I'm telling you, in 2 weeks, you're gonna get up in the morning, and you're not gonna want to get out of bed. You'll be depressed. I'm telling you, 2 weeks you're gonna be. And at that point, he pulls out a card out of his pocket, and he says, at that point, call the doctor, therapist, and he'll help you. And he'll pay for it. He says that was his thing. He wanted to help me. He'll pay for the bill. So he wasn't trying to needle me. I just was watching him. I was thinking, why in the world would I get up in 2 weeks from now and not want to get out of bed? I'm out of prison. What in the world? Explain me somebody. If I can't, I should be dancing every day. I got out of the bed. I looked at her. I was like, I didn't want to embarrass him. I said, I know what you're talking about. I didn't take the card. I know what you're talking about. Why should? Mainly if you're in prison, you don't got a bed to do this thing.
You've seen it in the past, that's all.
Okay.
People get a hard.
The answer is call it what you want, say what you want, explain what you want. Here's the bottom line. The bottom line exists. Ayid has an neshama. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're going down to Rosh Hashanah. Melech Basod. We have a neshama. We're b'nei Melachim. We have Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu, our father, Malkeinu, our king. I didn't say this in the beginning.
He was born when he came out. He was there at 7 Saturday.
Yeah. That's him?
It's you.
Oh, it's me.
That's amazing. Video of them or not?
Anyways, so we have a neshama. This is when we understand ourselves as a neshama, and our Father's in heaven. The whole world looks different. The whole life looks different. Everything is different, and then we act differently. You understand? We wanna take advice. You're driving an electric car. Yeah, Tesla, motion. Yeah, and you pass by a gas station. You ever pull in to get a fill up your tank? It doesn't talk to you. The gasoline, that's not your engine. We have a different engine. We have a neshama. Our life comes from Torah. Our advice comes from Torah. Our resolving issues in this world comes from Torah. You know, if you feel anxious many times, the anxiety could be simply because you haven't done a good job in davening. Yeah, because if you didn't do a good job davening, if you did a good job of learning, then your neshama is weak. You ever come home at night and you're hungry? What do you feel like? You worked not a good day. You're hungry. You woke up, you're irritable. You're anxious. You don't want to talk to anybody. You eat a steak dinner. In midst of all, the whole world changed. What's a psychiatrist? What happened? Because your physical life, same thing in the neshama. If you're not feeling your neshama the mitzvahs, you're gonna feel anxious. You feel depressed. You feel so fight. So you have to know how to identify it. That's the word. L'chaim, everybody. I'll finish up with this word. Then we'll have a go. One word. I said it before, no? Oh, I didn't say it before. Why? Elul is about crowning Hashem as our king, meeting the king in the field. The king is in the field. The king is in the palace. You have to go. You have to be a big shot to get in there. You can't get in. Not everybody gets into the palace. But if it comes out into the field, everybody is accessible. Elul, Hashem is accessible to everybody else. Chayil. And our job is to go greet the king. Our job is to accept the king as a king. So here's the question. Elul is about accepting Hashem as our king, as the one who gives us our life and doing what he wants. Here's the question. Ever wonder about this? What is every so throw with kings? Isn't the democracy better than the monarchy? Isn't a king and a dictator very synonymous? Why would you want a dictator?
He's a loving
Only
king.
God has the
A loving dictator.
consent.
Here's the point. You're missing the whole point. A king is not a dictator. A person until Malchus kol olamim, or Memshal kol every day. There's a Malchus and a Memshala. That's the whole point. When we accept Hashem as our king, a king is a loving king, like you said. A king, it could be a loving king. A king is there to help us. A king is there to protect us. A king is there to take care of his nation. But the nation has to accept to be a king. The nation has to tell the king, be our king. We'll do what you want. Will you teach us to be our right life? And then the king says, okay, I'll do that. And I'll come down to your level. I'll take care of you. I'll protect you, like David HaMelech did, like Sholom did. And I'll take care of you. A dictator is about himself. A dictator is about, it's not about you. It's a dictator is on animals. He's about control. So here's how it works down, guys. Here's the bottom line. It's Hashem's world. This is Hashem's world. Not our world. Hashem created this world. Hashem has a purpose of the world. So we can go about it two ways. We can understand it and accept Hashem as our king and do our purpose, and then Hashem protects us and keeps us and gives us what we need. Or Chas v'shov, we decide what I'm talking about. I'll do what I want. So Hashem is going to control everything, but he can do it as a king, a loving king, or Hashem can do it as a dictator. We don't want dictators. We want king, and that's El. That's the Rosh Hashanah. We have to go. We tell Hashem, Avinu Malkeinu, we are yours. You create us. We're here. We are your children. We're your servants, and we're Eved Hashem. And as Eved Hashem says, Shabbat, we want to trust you in everything we need. We have a good year. A year of parnasa, a year of good health, a year of good shidduchim, and a year of ashirus. Yeah, ashirus, Yiddish nachas. A year of geula, personal, like go same with Mashiach. L'chaim, everybody.
Yeah.
You're Rubashkin, you're fine with Rabbi.
Guys, that's married now. That's married. I got in the bathroom. Who's the bathroom here?
The photographer, take the picture. Somebody take the picture. Kiki, take a picture. The photographer.
We decided to call you up and show over. Thank you. No, I very appreciate it.
My computer, once you shut it, it closes everything. You sure?
I don't think so. No, it's still going.
Should close everything.